e ci becchiamo già subito Re Duke. Però siamo ancora nella parte di draft, non è standard, ok. Però cominci già adesso, almeno copro un po' di più. Notifica sul cellulare, perfetto. Mettiamo su YouTube anche la live.
Got a bunch of sevens. I suppose there's also
Ok, qua è tutto a posto.
because he has so many expensive things, but the fact that it doesn't just tap for mana has made it so that it's not quite as great as you would expect it to be for the signpost uncommon.
He has to decide between Sentinel of Lost Lore and Return.
Ok, anche di qua la live a posto.
This does look like a nice place to fire off a Return.
Devo solo mettere ancora una cosa qua su YouTube Studio e poi ci sono.
With the Curse Courtier as it currently sits at least.
So it's with not the ideal start here.
Ok, a posto.
For that Hamlet Glutton that Reed has, however, doesn't really have a whole lot in terms of offense here. No way to get the curse roll off of the
Ok, ciao a tutti, benvenuti a questa live di Magic Vlogs. Seguiamo il Worlds il più possibile, cioè finché non crepo dal sonno. Domani non faccio mattina al lavoro, quindi comunque se vado a dormire verso le 2, 3, insomma non muoio, quindi non importa. Quindi è davvero solo una gara di resistenza per quanto riguarda me. E speravo di cominciare la live già con lo standard, però perché bene o male la scorsa sera ha cominciato verso le 11, ma ha detto Marco, mi ha trasmesso un po' di info. Però niente, a quanto pare siamo ancora nel draft. Nel mentre metto solo la chat qua sul cellulare, almeno ce l'ho.
I'm just going to start windmill sending 7 drops.
All right.
Here on turn 4.
Cooped up number 1 has a target.
Perfetto, finché dura la chat, finché dura il cellulare c'è anche la chat di qua, poi dopo trovare un'altra soluzione. Allora, mentre giocano draft, tanto avevamo beccato in mezzo alla partita, vado solo a preparare il tè, quindi se non mi vedete per 2 secondi sono solo di là, che in realtà sono in cucina qua dietro, quindi non mi vedete per quello. Faccio il tè e torno subito.
Okay, he's going to play my card Daredevil. It's just a 4/2.
So the question here just becomes, will Yetze find cooped up number 2 here? If this is going to be a Hamlet Glutton, the second one. Putting Reed up to 23. He's at a very comfortable life total right now.
There it is, another one. Go. Jeez.
Pretty straightforward game plan, Marshall.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing in my hand? I'm going to play that.
I'll play that one.
Yeah.
There's the draw there for Yitza.
And that is
not going to do much.
Not going to do much here, so you just got to have to pass.
So now Reed gets to have a little time. And you have to feel like the late game favors Reed Duke pretty significantly.
All right, a hopeless nightmare here.
Yitza says, sure, I got plenty of lands to discard for that.
We'll note that with Hopeless Nightmare, because Reed does have a Brave the Wilds, he's probably going to use the Brave the Wilds to sack the Hopeless Nightmare to make a 3/3 and get a land. But the way that the triggers work, you don't actually get the scry. Like you scry first before you search, so it doesn't give you the maximum value when you sacrifice it to do the Brave the Wilds.
Ok.
It kind of matters here.
Right.
Allora, mi sono fatto il tè, adesso lo faccio finire di qua, così con tutta la live sono a posto. Beh, almeno cominciamo già con Ray Duke, che non è male. Allora, si è montato un Sultai. Vabbè, praticamente quindi sarà un Golgari Food con Splash Blue, probabilmente. Gli archetipi, non so se avete già giocato a Limited, il draft principalmente di Wilds of Eldraine, ma appunto ci sono vari archetipi, sono tutti spicy. Uno dei più forti è Golgari Food, è effettivamente molto forte, anche perché ti fa fare bargain molto facilmente sacrificando i food. Ma in generale è un set molto divertente. L'ho provato, non l'ho ancora esplorato appieno. L'ho provato un po' su Arena ovviamente, sto facendo dei draft, cioè i draft attivi. Non l'ho ancora mai giocato in Real. Marco mi sembra che forse qualche draft in Real l'ha fatto, ma non sono così sicuro. Si sacca l'incantesimo e si anima la terra. Il bargain è molto facile da triggerare, pensavo fosse più difficile da fare. Ovviamente parlo del limited, ma se lo sono studiati bene in maniera da renderlo proprio facile da attivare.
This is.
Because he gets a nab his graveyard here, or?
I guess choosing not to.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know if the. Oh, Yitze does have. Does Yitze have any recursion at all?
There's the white one.
There is the Return Triumphant. Does have one.
And he has one?
Yeah.
So why didn't he get his yard?
Ha mistriggerato, dicono.
Well, he didn't either way, so.
Ha giocato la Stentin of Lore. È una carta molto interessante anche per il limited. Beh, è una rara, questo è il cavolo. Insignia cimitero o togli dalle scatole le avventure.
And remember, he had to shuffle post scries. You mentioned Paul, so that was just a stone cold top
Who
deck
needs
right
to
there.
scry? Who needs to scry if you just draw it?
Ha pescato una bella carta.
A double block here. You dare you? No.
This is going. I'm gonna take it.
But Yitze can't keep doing this.
Yeah, just hoping to draw one of the two cooped ups.
Allora, il gigante fa o removal -2/-2
Oh, this is so brutal.
con l'avventura.
So take out the Daredevil.
And play it.
E poi lo giochi ed è un ciccione.
Get his token on.
E ottieni a bel food.
Your move.
Ma l'altro è basso, un board
This is
brutto.
like cooped up at the minimum at this point.
Oh, yeah, but bodyguard better here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, where a Fox Bodyguard would be nice.
But
Is that what he drew?
I believe that's what he drew.
Business.
Ah, ha pescato una carta forte. Ha pescato la Wereforks Bodyguard, che è quella che ha mostrato ora.
Regis has so much in play. Like you bodyguard the glutton, still have to do.
Può fare removal, però lui deve parare a un certo punto. Quindi, ok, toglie una creatura, però.
The Sentinel, the Hunter. Oh, and the Candy Grapple.
Are you serious, Reed?
All right.
Ha pescato Candy Grapple. No, vabbè.
Chill out, man. Like,
Beh, ha vinto. Candy Grapple è una rimozione. -3/-3, bargain, -5/-5.
And remember, the way that Werefox Bodyguard works, if Yitze casts the Bodyguard with the trigger on the stack, if you Candy Grapple the Bodyguard, the creature doesn't get exiled.
A posto.
So all these creatures are attacking.
He's not
GG.
going to bother deploying the thing. That's game number one. Going to read Duke in impressive fashion off of Tryon. Now, I should tell you here, take a look at the records for these players.
GG.
If they were to pick up a victory, so let's say Reed can finish this off, or Yitze makes the big comeback 2-0, and
Ma non vediamo come sono.
that would leave them at 9 wins. Now, there's a magic number here at the World
Il
Championship.
Familiar, ok, bello. Il Bramble Familiar è un rampino, molto bella. Sto andando a dire Duke. Return to the Wilds, con i 3 mana può andare a rampare. Return to the Wilds va a cercarti le terre. O ti fa l'umano. Ne puoi scegliere o food, ne puoi scegliere 2. L'altro invece ha Dragon Mantle, Cooked Up. Ah, l'altro ha una mano un po' così, eh. È un po' così.
Yeah, it's going to put them in incredible position. Now, of course, they're both with the 8-1.
Uè, Ale Mazza, buonasera, buonasera.
The outcome of this match, but yes, at 9, we're talking about the potential to lose out all your rounds.
Sai che non lo so, non ho guardato ancora nessuno italiano come sta messo. Quindi aspetterò che compaia qualche tabella, qualche classifica e lo scoprirò anch'io. Non l'ho chiesto a Marco, sinceramente. Il Pro Tour ho guardato zero, non ho seguito nulla di quello che ha fatto Marco. Io ho solo chiesto le cose principali, tipo gli orari, perché mi servono davvero tanto quelli per organizzarmi con il figlio, col lavoro, insomma, da Da sapere quando iniziare a streamare, in pratica. Ma sicuramente a breve lo sapremo, tanto le fanno uscire le classifiche. Se li vediamo con i punteggi alti vuol dire che stanno a posto. Anche se c'è da considerare che adesso è la parte draft, che ha un certo peso, ma probabilmente molto inferiore rispetto allo standard. Eccolo che rampa come un dannato. La giocata infatti che dicevo con Return of the Wilds, From the Wilds. Bella comune, l'ho giocata anche un po' quella. Cioè alla fine sono tutte carte che ho giocato con i Duke, quindi bene o male ci sto azzeccando con i draft. Da Beckham era difficile capire che come archetipo BG era forte in draft. Gallant Pie, che è un bel first striker, che può diventare un double striker.
We're talking about 3 mana creatures, 3 Brave the Wilds, 2 Return
Cosa
of
fa?
the Wilds. I mean, every hand's just gonna look the same.
Pam.
And the shields are up now. The Root Rider Fawn and the Sky Beast Tracker plus a 1/1 token.
Vorrei you cast spell by magic crea un food token. Questo non me la riconoscevo. Ah, ok, un produttore di food.
Super often, but Reed's deck is actually built around this, mana value 5 or greater thing. And the food tokens are going to matter.
In Reed's deck, it's 4 mana, 2
Non
mana,
male.
play a spell, get a food.
Pretty much.
Celebrant, che ha l'abilità di quel nano dall'altra parte, quella carta foil bianca, il 2-3 con First Strike, è facile da fare, perché dice basta che mettono 2 permanenti non terra, e essendo che c'è le produzioni di food, spesso basta anche solo castare una spell per triggerarla. Fai spell, che è una creatura, un permanente, entra con il food, li hai fatti entrambi, tac, fatto.
This will create a treasure, and if Yitzi is able to play a permanent, that will give him an enabler for celebrating every turn. Right? It's going to be pretty easy, given that you get that treasure. The cost is, of course, 1 mana, because you get the mana back from the treasure.
And with the Gallant Pie Wielder, that can add up.
Right, so probably deciding between maybe the Battle Garb or the Dragon Mantle.
Devo decidere cosa scartare qua.
Is interested in playing out the
Credo.
cards this turn.
Sì, ok.
Mantle's going to hit the yard.
Ciao Mantle. Ci sta, non serve a niente qua.
Cooped up on the tracker or the Battle Garb here.
I think we might see
Or
Casual Treasure.
Pie Wielder.
E fa un altro nano
Now
Galliant.
we have a celebration trigger as well. And that does lead a good attack here.
È un buon attacco, sì.
it would die if Reed double blocks.
If he double blocked with the fawn.
With the fawn and the tracker, so actually.
Oh, and he's just going to pass. Wow. So
Però vuole, ci sta, non vuole tradare.
Reed's deck draws have lined up so well here.
Right.
Like, that was a lot of work for Yitzi. He had to spend 2 mana. He had to sack a treasure. And he just had to watch that celebration trigger just
Man,
disappear.
Reed's hand is fantastic. Candy
got
grapple, Balloon's
Madonna, la mano di Ray Duke è carichissima. C'ha il gigante da scontare col food. Il familiar che tra un po' è castabile tramite quest che costa 7.
I think he's a favorite.
Candy Grapple.
See if Yitzi.
E... Belluna's Gatekeeper.
His deck has the
C'è
ability
tutto.
to be explosive. Well, he's going to send one of them back.
Bounce in mano un pezzo. Rampino, vai.
Such a classic Reed Duke trap. Like,
Yeah.
you have no good attack, and if you try to get frisky, he's just got the
Heavy
candy
answer.
grapple sitting there too.
Yep.
Reed
Slow
knows,
and steady.
right? This is the game plan. How do I lengthen the game? Right? How do I make this go longer? Because, one other thing to note here is that if you're in Reed's seat and you're watching your opponent activate that vault over and over, he's discarded 2 spells to it.
Right.
Like, it's not like he's crafting this perfect game plan with all these
Boom.
great spells. He's stitching them.
All right. And so
Equipaggia.
Candy Grapple's going to have a wonderful target here. That's a
Ah,
4-1
Candy
double
Grapple.
Use your mana and next turn start playing your big creatures.
Now, no mana available for Yitzi right now, so Reed can just do the thing
Yeah.
he's going to do, which in this case is Candy Grapple to kill it.
E muore.
Jeez. So not only a solid 1-for-1 for Reed, he played 3 spells at turn
Used
cycle,
all his mana.
and it was like a time walk against Yitze as well. Goodness sakes.
Yeah, Reed's pretty good at Magic. I'm just gonna say.
Killing him softly here. Now
Tutto
what?
sto mana, fa il gigante. Fa il
Just
gigante.
hardcast the Glutton. No
Però
bargain.
hardcastato e il bargain di questa creatura semplicemente lo sconta.
Like
Dice che se tu
chasing
fai bargain anziché costare 7 costa
aggro,
5.
and his life total hasn't been below like 16 or something
Right.
in the match.
Però qua l'ho giocato più come appunto finisher 6-6 trample.
And Ken had an absurd deck.
Right. But Reed's deck is also looking fantastic here.
It's just, you know, I think what you said is really what's standing out to me is the consistency of it.
Reidioco ormai ha sempre i capelli perfetti, tutti proprio liscissimi.
One Hamlet Glutton, one Scarecrow.
Userà
It's hard to get
Pantene.
that perfect balance of
Yes.
ramp spells, mana fixing, payoffs, and then also being able to find some interaction in there as well, right?
Vabbè, comunque se per i rati contro Reidioco, adesso non so quanto sia forte l'altro, non lo conosco proprio, quindi magari in realtà è famoso anche lui. O comunque abbastanza.
And he did activate the vault, so it did get double strike as well.
Però
But Reed
Duke è
says the
Duke.
best this 1/1 is going to do is soak up 8, so good enough.
That's another Hamlet Glutton.
Yeah, he's got a backup. You never leave home without at least 2 Hamlet
When
Gluttons.
you got 3,
Vediamo cosa combina.
I don't know if there's any great blocks, so Reed might actually choose to attack this turn. You can just play the Hamlet Glutton and then get in for 4 potentially.
2, 4, 6. Gioca l'avventura.
Just choosing to go for that instead, perhaps also playing the Scarecrow Guide rather.
E gioca anche lo Scarecrow. Ok.
He also got in for 2 with the Sky Beast tracker. He's also piling up food tokens. Reed is playing bigger, better, more, and more often.
Has used every single bit of his mana for every single turn.
Like, what are you gonna do against that? Meanwhile, Yitze is over there.
Tra l'altro lì si tiene sempre anche un piano B, perché il familiar è forte perché te lo puoi bounsare in mano tappando 3 e scartando una carta. Quindi se tu sei al top deck e non devi fare niente, a instant te lo riprendi in mano e poi fai la quest. Tanto lui adesso ha 6 mana, 7 mana volendo ce li ha, perché ha 6 terre più una creatura che aggiunge mana. Quindi tranquillamente può fare questa cosa qua poi del familiar. Vabbè che adesso ha un altro 6-6 da castare, non ne ha bisogno. Però se arrivate a quel punto di grinding della partita,
2013 in what many consider to be a very favorable matchup. I know that one is
anche questa però uno mi sento di dire che Reidioco l'ha vinta. La mano dell'altro è bruttina, è proprio brutta. Lì c'è ancora del gas tramite un 6-6 che gli dà altre 3 vite. Trada, però gli fa solo piacere, tanto uno dei più gas. Io adesso ti faccio un altro 6-6.
get that title.
Yeah, step 1, win this game.
Then win one
Step
more.
2, win one more match today, and
Then a
then
few
we'll,
more
we'll
matches.
get back to you on
Yeah,
Sunday
yeah.
about the rest. But like,
Look, this whole
these are
ramp,
big steps.
this whole ramp strategy is working out real well here for Reed.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes he's supposed to have all Hamlet Gluttons
Boom.
in his opening hand and not cast them, or he's supposed to ramp up to everything and just not have anything to cast.
That's the cost of playing ramp, right?
Right, he has not paid it.
No. He's
Every time we watch
he's
him,
the ramp
it's this
into the big
perfect
thing.
Ma ha
one.
fatto un altro Hamlet gigante come avevamo previsto.
I have a candy grapple here too, just to make sure I don't die. He's now at 26 with 3 food. He's a
È intoccabile, 26 vite, 3
And
food,
if he
buono.
absolutely runs out of things to do, he can return the Bramble Familiar to hand, right? And then go cast Fetch Quest.
Sure.
Maybe find something else.
How about another glutton? He still has
Yeah.
one floating around.
That's
somewhere, right?
true.
Chissà cosa gioca in standard Reidioco. Mi aspetto BG midrange visto che è un mazzo
It's been
buono.
fighting. It's the reason why he's 8-1.
Well, yep.
It's another cooped up.
That is exactly what he needed to
Okay.
see to at least keep his life total from starting to plummet.
Cooped up non male. Può bloccare un 6-6 per sempre.
Monstrous Rage, right? You put the you can remove the curse.
Cooped up.
It's a 4/3,
Yeah.
so it can still get double blocked down. It would mean you're trading the red cap thief for the archer.
Is Reed ready to give up even 1 point of damage here?
As long
Ma
as he stays above 2.
tanto è a 26, cioè
All
non,
right,
anche se
and
gira per
I
4.
keep my board presence for the cost of going from 26
Infatti.
or sorry, down to 18 life. Wow.
Tanto è talmente alto.
He's at 22, right?
I believe he was at 26 to 22, but we have him at 18 for some reason.
Yeah.
Ah, ecco, mi sembrava strano. Mi faccio, ma come ho contato male? Come fa 26 come fa a passare a 18? Che c'ho double strike e robe strane, ma con double strike non tornavano i conti.
So Reed still hasn't fallen.
Ok, 22, a posto. Avranno miscliccato quelli dello stream. Infatti dicevo, ma che cacchio. Ovviamente sono stanco, però basic math, almeno quella.
You can attack with everything and still use all your mana.
Incredible.
You can go
Pam,
Sentinel plus
pigliate ste
3 if you
pigne.
want. Could potentially wait till Yitz's turn, given that he's already got 3 food in play.
Sentinel's lost lore. Bye bye
Lo
graveyard.
slort, c'è un cimitero, ma l'ha usato semplicemente come un 3-4 grosso, perché tanto ti sto per uccidere che sei a 11.
I'm just hoping that Yitza doesn't have to activate the vault again.
Oh,
Like just
we are vaulting.
just add to the board.
I mean, there is a Bellowing Bruiser.
Mm-hmm.
Could choose to just play that and attack with both. Try to race, but Yitz's down to 11 now?
He is. The leftovers from Reed are attacking him down at this point.
And it's hard to race 3 food
It's
as
very
well.
difficult.
Appunto, cioè anche se fa sta cosa che hanno detto, cioè diventa la seconda creatura, attaccare con tutte e due è difficilissimo fare la race contro 3 food, sono 9 vite. E una attivabile già adesso.
Never where you want to be.
Infatti.
Reed's going to go back up to
Di
20.
5.
The Bruiser, Reed currently doesn't have an answer for the Bruiser.
No, he
so
doesn't.
he doesn't have a great attack here,
No,
right?
no, he doesn't.
Quello non è male però, blocca bene.
He's just going to pass it back. Okay, come on, Yitza, let's get back in this thing.
Clawing back.
Double Hamlet Glutton, who cares?
Attenzione.
It's also not bad.
Jeez.
You got the cut in, you can get rid of the Sentinel if you want.
Anche l'altro senza non top deccare duro, eh. Ci sta.
Lost Swords of 3.
A meno così non finisce in maniera poco interessante.
The perfect size.
You think Reed's gonna discard a card here and return Bramble Familiar to hand?
He might. He drew a land, right?
Has 7 mana even if you bounce it.
Yeah.
You discard the Swamp.
It does feel like it's about that time.
Uccide lo Splore.
Just cut in. That's going to target the Sentinel. And then Young Hero roll is going to go on the Red Cap Thief, I believe. Yeah, there we go.
So that can attack as a... It's currently a 4/3. It can attack as a 5/4 this turn.
Diventa un 5-4 se lo attacca perché ha il Young Hero Roll. Che se hai costruzione massima 3 potenzia ancora di più, fino a diventare appunto ancora più un segnalino più 1.
It's a very juicy target.
Farà
just
blocco.
block bounce.
Block and bounce.
E bounce in mano.
There is a window for you to... No, he's just going to have to let that happen.
25.
Reed's like, you know what, I could use a 7-drop.
Yeah. Oh, 30, 31.
So his life total's...
Ok, vince 21.
Right, remember when you cast Fetch Quest, that's another food off the tracker.
The Sky Beast tracker has produced multiple food.
All right, it's time for Hamlet Glutton number 3, I think, Marshall.
I'm ready.
Fetch quest and make a food.
Patch quest.
All right, let's see what he hits.
Okay. Oh, that's a lot of lands.
Are you kidding me?
That's a lot of lands.
Enchantment.
È andata male. Vabbè, c'è una creatura almeno, no?
Get a Root Rider font, so that's about as close to...
Però si è tolto quante terre dalla cima.
Remember,
Cioè,
let's go to the yard. Yeah, that was actually beneficial, but he's got to be careful. Can't do that forever.
Right. Hey, and this collector's vault, I mean, Yitze doesn't need any more lands. Any land he draws, he can cycle.
Yeah. And he's built up
doing some
treasures
work.
as well. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I like this. This is an interesting game.
Still has a lot to fight for. I mean, a few turns ago, we thought it was all but
Due,
over.
due turni il game è diventato completamente diverso.
And Yitze,
Ora è molto
you
più
know,
interessante.
finding a way to stabilize here could give him an opportunity here.
I have to start using dice. Pressure? Yeah. That? Four treasures.
4 treasures. Now all of a sudden, remember we talked about it before. He's got Picnic Runner in his deck, right?
Picnic Ruiner, even
Picnic
worse.
Runner.
Yeah.
So lots of mana.
Attacca.
4 treasures. Yeah. Okay.
We're attacking here too.
It's playing the calm, cool, and collected card here. He's just straightforward.
Yeah.
Reed has a lot of life total to play with here, though, so he can just take it.
Prende i danni, sono tanti danni, anche se sono
Everything.
una decina. Ma a tempo ci sta, tanto non muore in 3 giri, in un giro, quindi ci sta a prendere, non perdere pezzi. Solo che ora ha fatto già la fetch quest, quindi
You're true.
If you want to draw some cards.
rifare tutto il giro è un po' un pasticcio con il procione.
At this point.
Deve rigiocarlo, ribalzarlo in mano.
Brave the Wilds.
This will help.
Forest into a creature.
This actually can attack.
Yep. And Reed did draw in Obera's attendance. So if Yitze chooses to block with the Grabby Giant, that would be a favorable exchange for Reed do.
And then he could still feed the cauldron if he wants, and if he main phases it,
Right.
get that food as well.
Attack.
Attack.
Will Yitze block?
Yitze does have Monstrous Rage.
Yeah.
That would work, right? Because you give it -4, -0, becomes an 0-3. You Monstrous Rage. That becomes a 3-4. The sizing is still great against the forest, right?
Blocca.
That's exactly what Yitze is going through in his mind right now.
I said, what could you have? Okay.
Hey, that was a
Most
little weird
sides.
timing.
I guess he just wants to.
Più 2 più 0 davanti fino a fine turno è ruolo mostruoso. Quindi +1/+1 perenne, travolgere.
Yeah, that's fair. So Reed's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna play the attendance now.
Yeah, I guess if you're just gonna.
Yep. But hey, that's a 5/4 trampler as well. Remember,
Just to reiterate, what would normally happen there is blockers are declared, and then priority would go back to Reed Duke. He would have to say, "I'm not going to do anything," and then Yitze has an opening at that point to cast something.
Vediamo cosa
Alright,
fa.
so Reed has 2 fantastic tricks here. So if Yitze chooses to go for a pretty aggressive attack here, Reed could potentially blow him out this turn.
It feels like Yitze has been building up towards something like that, but we'll see. He's shown remarkable patience this game.
Yeah.
The vault's done good work for him. It's interesting to try to figure out if it would have
Qua è
been
difficile
better
navigare
if
sto
he was
board,
a creature and he could have been applying pressure.
Right.
But at this point in the game, it's much
Adesso Gitz c'ha dei buoni attacchi,
The
però
reason we're at this point of the game is because of it.
The one I suppose Reed might
Finito il
probably
tema, no?
goes back
Recuperarmi un po'
and
d'acqua, va?
wondering why didn't Reed go for that?
Staccelo qua dietro.
This is all goodies, by the way. This is the adventure for Picnic Ruiner.
You get 3 counters total, right? So you're 2 and 1? Yes. Yep, it resolves.
Okay.
Okay, that resolves.
Targeting the creatures that don't get targeted by Feed the Cauldron. How patient will Yitze choose to be here? It's like, what is the worst case scenario? He knows about the attendance.
Okay, he's going to play Picnic Ruiner.
Okay.
Equipaggia, gira.
And he's just going to
Just with
send in
one.
this huge Grabby Giant.
This is what, a 7 7-6?
7-6.
No, excuse me, 9-6.
9-6, vabbè.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Perché c'è l'equipaggiamento che dà ancora di più.
9-6 trampler. So if Reed
It cannot be cauldrons.
That creature is a 9.
6.
9 è tanto.
So Reed can make it down to 5 power with the attendants. So that's a 5-6. So if Reed does choose to block with everything, I'm curious to see how Yitze will choose to order this, because if you target, for example, the familiar plus the fawn, that's 5 damage. You're guaranteed to get 2 things off the battlefield. If you order it like that, you only get rid of 1 fawn.
If you get it like this, you actually only get just the tracker, right?
Is tracker number 1?
I believe that.
Okay.
We'll find out shortly, but my understanding is that.
Got it. You're right.
Still, Reed has to be happy with this exchange. That tracker did serious work for him, and now he just
I
took a
see.
huge threat off the battlefield.
Definitely.
And he has the attendants on adventure. Gives him something to do with his mana this turn if he needs to.
Vediamo cosa fa interessante.
Library getting a little light for Reed, but he's only done the 1.
Is that
What's up?
break the spell?
Did he bring that in on the
Yeah,
sideboard?
that's what it looks like for the
11.
cooped ups, I imagine.
Wow, he actually has a window to do it here as well.
Altering white mana from Scarecrow.
Break the spell.
Oh man!
Spell.
And
Oh.
you can't do anything about it because he's tapped out.
Wow. Getting in.
Yeah, because remember, it's just down to 11. So
Libera il
he's gotta be
6-6.
very careful.
Oh, and this double block, Reed has Feed the Cauldron. This double block's gonna be a
No, don't
disaster.
do it.
Oh
Oh!
madonna.
And Yitza is watching this game evaporate. I don't know if you
Ah.
on his face, but there was a nod of resignation there as he says,
Yep.
Feed the cauldron, attenzione.
Very difficult to come back from. Super high leverage turn there for Reed Duke.
Then he can go attendant as well, I believe.
Ha trovato la solution a sto board.
Yeah,
What a turn here from Reed
he
Duke.
can, Paul, you're right.
Jeez.
Ha trovato le bombe.
That's gotta be it at this point.
La
right?
risposta all'enchant più feed the cauldron.
I mean, just emotionally speaking, I don't know how he comes
I
back.
mean, I can barely handle it
Yeah,
here.
I mean, that was
No, così però.
a very soul-crushing turn.
Vabbè che c'ha un po' di looting, quindi non è del tutto morto Gizze, però.
Remember, Reed's at 22 against an aggro deck, and that's going to do it.
Niente.
Reed Duke picks up the 3-0. That's going to put him at 9-1, and if he can win one of the next 3 matches, he will be in the top 8. And even if he doesn't, he can win the last one and probably get in. And even if he doesn't, he may still get in anyway. So unreal.
Yeah, and I mean,
È molto ben messa, potrebbe fare di molto potto il Pro Tour.
This, the ramp deck that
Mica immaginate i Duke cioè Pro Tour, ai Worlds. Immaginate se vince anche, va benissimo anche ai Worlds. Cioè, grande accomplishment da parte sua sarebbe.
Every single mana was used on basically
È andato bene al Pro Tour, va bene pure ai Worlds.
He loves a game plan that he understands. Look, I'm trying to push this to a certain point. In this case, it was about as long as you could go, and he knows how to do it. I mean, how many times did he just like have 4 or 5 things and just say, "Go ahead"? Like, I'm not risking anything.
And not only that, just his patience.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's legendary. He's known for his patience. But there were those instances where a lot of people watch and he goes, okay, well, then now he's just going to play his big thing, right? It's like, no. He gave Yitze plenty of opportunities to make mistakes, held up his tricks, and for the most part, Yitze did a great job playing around it.
Yeah.
But at the end, Reed finally got him, and it was just really fun to
It
watch.
finally collapsed. So Reed Duke with the big win here this round. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, though,
E dopo abbiamo Simon Nielsen contro Sir Manfield. Buono, buono. Nielsen anche lui è andato molto bene quest'anno. Sta continuando a fare cose. E beh, invece anche l'altro è famosissimo. Back in 2 minuti. Ah, le classifiche. Vediamo se sono gli italiani.
Benvenuti in questo ride speciale di 30 secondi, esattamente, anche i miei spot devono essere metanarrativi. In un mercato videoludico pieno di AAA e nuove console...
Però niente, la pubblicità.
È prosciugare le proprie finanze. Come direbbe un esperto, è pericoloso procedere da soli, ed è per questo che siete qui. Grazie al conto Hype Next avrete la possibilità di gestire le vostre finanze in maniera efficiente.
Questo è Sidonia, se non sbaglio.
Tra i miei vantaggi preferiti abbiamo il ricevere cashback e scambiare soldi con i propri amici.
Non l'ho mai visto più di tanto questo qua. Tratta di Pokémon. Non mi è mai piaciuto, non so perché. È stato un po'. Però ammetto che non ho guardato niente di sua produzione.
Non vorresti avere un display esterno fatto così.
Cioè, non lo facevo prima che avevo tempo, ora che non c'ho tempo di guardare nessuno, figurati.
Non vorresti che il tuo smartphone fosse tascabile così? Flexa.
Dai, basta pubblicità.
Descrivere i suoni, l'adrenalina, il batticuore, il sapore di una risata sincera.
Vabbè che anzi sono 2 minuti di tempo, quindi. Però è più bello vedere 2 minuti del coso della Wizard che vedere la pubblicità.
Dopo aver preso tutto per sistemare il camper su eBay, partiamo per la gara. Ma per sbaglio finiamo su un'altra pista, quella di Vale.
Sulle derapate ce n'è da lavorare.
Minchia, Valentino Rossi è ancora vivo. E poi in realtà Valentino Rossi è vecchio, anche se non sembra. Cioè, è vecchio. Si dimostra molto più giovane di quello che è.
Nel nostro intimo c'è Chilli.
Dopo Chilli, no. Gran Turismo. Dai. Niente, mi sa che mi tengono tutti i 2 minuti pieni di pubblicità. Vabbè, oh, ci sta. Infatti.
Welcome back to coverage here of the Magic the Gathering World Championship. Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon. We're in the last round of booster draft here for our World Championship competitors.
Thankfully that dragon didn't quite make the cut for a World Championship.
Ok, l'ultimo round di draft, quindi dopo dovrei riuscire a beccarlo standard.
Like a lot of noise. It's very loud, dragon. Our next one, Simon Nielsen is playing against Seth Manfield. Simon in a particularly interesting position. He started his draft yesterday with an 0-2. So you draft, you're excited, you sit down, you lose your first round, okay, that stuff. Then you play your next round, you lose that, and you're like, I'm 0-2. Like, this has not gone well. And look at his record now. 7-2.
Non si è abbattuto.
He's trying to win his pod here to, have left behind that rocky start. And, if you've been watching professional level Magic recently, Simon has been on an absolute tear. Now, if you've been watching professional level Magic for any number of years, you'll know Seth Manfield on the side. In fact, he has won one of these things, a World Championship. And we're going to join these two in
Vediamo che giocano.
2 with Simon Nielsen up a game. So now he's just 1 game away.
Ah, ha già vinto Nielsen una prima, ok. Vabbè, magari erano
What do the decks look
in
like?
speed up nel mentre.
So Seth
Cioè, nel senso,
Manfield
ho fatto vedere le Duke nel mentre loro giocavano.
control deck. I mean, we're looking at multiple copies of Territorial Witchstalker, which I think Seth is really just playing to kind of muck up the ground until he can kind of get into the late game and play kind of some of his larger win conditions. And this is kind of the deck that you would see collectors vault in more often, right? It's like, hey, I'm just trying to get to the late game. I'm gonna make some treasures, and then I'm gonna maybe play some hammerheads and some large creatures.
Pizza che fa
and
food.
get there that way. Now, Simon Nielsen's deck is a blue-green deck.
Lo sapevo che c'aveva sta carta mitica. Non gli ho visto la mano, ma quando ha fatto turno 2 passo sapevo che aveva sta mitica. Fortissima. Secondo me sta fa il cavaliere 2-2.
Oh, if you blinked, Grass Fade is going to take it down. So that's a Oblivion Ring style effect if you haven't seen it before. And that's going to have it exiled until it goes away.
Oh man, some
rough.
haymaker. Not a common has not yet been cast.
No, they're not even bothering with these things. Gingerbread.
There we go.
There's a common for you. The Witch
Gingerbread, Hunter, gioco ciccione.
And Seth is going to keep things simple here and just fire off the Gingerbread Hunter after it already did its work.
Why does it have to make a food?
Yeah, come on.
It doesn't have to, right?
It's
I mean, this is
offensive.
just so good.
Howling Galefang's going to hit the battlefield now for Simon Nielsen. That will make the Witchstalker able to attack, but it looks like it's going to decide not to run.
La questing beast dei poveri, la combo che ha giocato la Nielsen, è rapida se hai una carta con avventura esiliata ed è un 4-4 Vigilance Ace. Se no, solo Vigilance.
Wicked Visitor.
Huntsman's Redemption, forte.
Power added to the board just this turn. Manfield hyper mana efficient as well. You seeing a trend here, Paul?
Good players use their mana well.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, Simon really wanted land number 5 there to perhaps slam that Virtue of Loyalty as quickly as possible here. So now Wicked Visitor likely going to be the target for the Huntsman's Redemption on the sacrifice to search for any creature in his deck. So whatever the best creature is in
Attacca.
Seth Manfield's deck that's not Gingerbread Hunter is what he's going to be looking for.
Simon's going to return the favor attack with his 4/4 with vigilance here because once again he's the one with mana that's untapped. Right. And even though a double block from Seth may be tempting, it is definitely risky, but he's going to do it anyway.
Ha fatto doppio blocco.
That was a great exchange there for.
See, these are the subtleties, right?
Man.
Seth made the block. Now he knows the list, right? Oh, but look at this.
Un altro grasp.
Grasp of fate here from Nielsen. How did he end up with 2 of those things?
Yeah, I don't think people are as high on it. It's a very good card, but the double white makes it really difficult for you to consistently play this card as a removal spell unless you're very heavy in white.
Right. And look at this. It's
E toglie Ultimate Redemption, ci sta.
that goes away. It's Huntsman Redemption.
Okay, so
Clever.
Seth Manfield does.
Se no rischia di andare a prendere la creatura che vuole, è un disastro.
Be the perfect creature to search for with the 2 food.
Sacrificando una creaturaccia.
Okay, Conceited Witch. That's going to be a wicked roll.
This is a lot of
Wow,
offense coming.
that's
though.
a chump block right there.
Wow.
From Nielsen.
Just-
Seth Manfield turning the tables quickly.
Can just play the switch too. That's his best option.
Hey, this is the downside of not taking out the Gingerbread Hunter.
Right,
You're
yeah.
slammed on
If
now.
Seth has anything, you get punished. You take so much damage.
Right. So Simon's going to need to find a
Yeah,
way
what
to
the fuck?
mitigate what's on board. He took the long game route with his Grasp of Fate, taking out Huntsman's Redemption. You can see why. It wasn't getting pretty for him going forward, but now he has to deal with what's on board, and Edgewall Pack is another great addition to the board here. Oh, and you can see why now.
Ooh.
I did not know that Simon had that. Oh,
This makes
man.
more sense.
Yeah, now
Right?
the game plan makes sense. In fact, I think if I'm in
La marattina.
Seth's seat, I'm like, oh no, once he goes for that, because Expel the Interlopers is a great sweeper, and it's going to take care of the board here.
Expel Virtue Double Grasp.
Non male.
Dude,
That's a
Non
reasonable
male.
I would be white. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Resettato
Gracious
tutto.
Vermin is going to be the rebuild plan now.
Ora mette i pezzi più grossi, magari
It all
vince.
makes sense. Like it all comes
Yeah.
together now that you see the Expel.
Definitely.
Beanstalk Worm.
And Seth doesn't have an attack through the worm unless he has a removal spell here. Okay, just flooding the board here, but none of them great at attacking. Well, actually, the Baronati and a Conceited Witch can technically get in if Simon doesn't have a creature to block.
Right.
A second creature to block the menace.
Il Wurm messo così per preparare ci sta.
How about Sir
Però è già abbastanza indietro,
Oh,
eh.
excuse me, of course, the Beanstalk Worm also has reach, so the Baronati cannot attack. So
True.
Seth has no attacks unless he has a removal spell
Yeah, he
or a
went from
great combo.
theoretical 1 attack to 0.
To nothing.
Yep.
To potentially dead very soon. That's
Actually,
a lot of
true.
attack.
Yeah, and don't forget Virtue of Loyalty sitting over there as well.
Infatti appena riesce a mettere sta Virtue of Loyalty per terra, Simon cambia tutta la partita.
Yeah, this is punishing the smaller creatures on the other side here for Seth. But Simon hasn't quite gone down that route just yet. Oh, but he is going to now.
Eccola.
He doesn't want to trade. Okay.
Okay.
Segnalino su 2 creature, vai.
I mean,
If he waits one turn, then his attacks get even better.
Seth needs to find removal spells or just try to close the door quick because this thing will run away with the game.
Is Seth the one that needs a sweeper now?
Yeah. What can we have though?
Yeah.
Metto un po' la coperta e inizia a far
It's
freddo.
gonna be pretty hard. It's gonna be pretty hard to cast Expel.
Cosa ha giocato?
Yeah, make a 1/1.
Ah, quello che fa la terra più l'1.
2, 3, 3. Yeah.
Che diventa grosso.
Return from the Wilds looks really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 5 counters so far on Virtual Loyalty.
I don't see a way out for Manfield at this point. Like, Simon's at 11. You know, even an attack with all of his creatures getting through wouldn't kill him.
Okay, that deals with 1 creature.
Yeah. Scream Puff.
Rimozione, però.
Okay.
Oh, hatching plans?
Uh!
Oh, but now he's going to have a huge double striker in a little while.
Yeah.
Well, he must have a specific plan for next turn.
E
Right.
niente.
Because you kind of want to keep hatching plans to trigger the Pie Wielder,
Wielder,
probably, is
right.
in conjunction with something else. But maybe he's got a way to sacrifice.
Vediamo cosa ci
some
fare,
real
però. È dura.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mi sa che
Perhaps waiting for
sta Virtue la porta troppo avanti
before
Nielsen.
attacking because of the Scream Puff in play. But we're almost getting to the point where, I mean, Simon could just be representing a lethal attack, right?
Yeah, Simon's being really patient. You know, he's had some at least trade level attacks
Right.
prior, but he knows he can just sit here. His board's getting better.
It's like, how can I
Prendo per questi
lose
snack, mentre
if I just
decidono.
keep playing creatures and don't do anything?
Right.
Right?
And then just pick a nice turn to just
Right.
slam. Yeah. And taking a look at Seth Manfield's list, I don't know. I mean, he's well beyond the realm of having 1-for-1 removal.
Perhaps a sideboarded spider food? Okay.
Yeah, just to kill the virtue itself.
Right.
Well, he's going to feed the cauldron
That's
to
3
take out
food.
the scariest down the line threat.
I was going to see if he had a Sweet Tooth Witch, but he does not.
I want to
That
see
would
what Simon does this turn.
Oh,
I didn't see, what is it? Whatever, he sacked the hatching plant.
that's a Diminisher Witch.
Diminisher Witch, okay, sure.
Oh, but didn't put it on the Screen Puff?
Niente, non c'è niente di interessante da mangiare. Mangio qualcosa più tardi, magari se mi viene voglia. Ma c'è solo dolci.
Every time we go, Simon's in trouble. He tends to follow it up with something very impressive here.
Yes, he does.
Attack. No.
Yeah, okay.
Really, really
Makes
impressive.
sense.
Yeah. The Hamlet Glutton is going to sacrifice, since he controlled it, that role, and that allows him to cast it this turn.
Okay,
And he's finally
it's time.
attacking. What can Seth Manfield do? Can he
Vediamo
leverage
cosa
the
fa.
board to get some of these creatures off the board?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that Screen Puff's going to get in front of one of these creatures. There's a monster roll in the Beanstalk Worm, so that's an 8-7 Trampler. No, excuse me, 9-8 Trampler.
No, 9-8 trampo al gigante.
Oh no, there's a Sir Arm. I can't do this math. It's a 10-8. There's
It's a 10-8?
Well, there's a Sir
Oh,
Armand
right.
in play too, right? Yeah.
Looks like he's going to take down Sir Armand. Oh, down it goes. Got an 8 falls
And
Seth
now we have
Manfield.
2 gigantic Tramplers.
This is basically a one-turner here for Seth to find the answer
Praticamente sì, ha solo un turno.
for the worm, and then that might buy him a turn if he's lucky. I mean, that human token's a 4/4 now, right? Just that little guy.
Just a random 1/1.
Yeah, just a random 1/1 from Return to the Wilds is now grown to a 4/4. It's bigger than anything.
And the only thing that sweeper level type card I can think of is Spectre Mortality, but Seth does not have nearly enough creatures in the graveyard to wipe the board. And it's also just not in his deck.
So that's a couple of
A
problems.
couple of problems, yes, I would say.
Vediamo un attimo qua, ma...
Does Seth have Shadow?
Tesa, però non penso che qua riesca a tirarla su, È stata troppa inevitabilità quella dannata Virtue, troppo forte.
Wait.
Oh!
Twisted Fealty.
Ok.
Get a Wicked Roll token as well.
Could he steal the game?
Può vincere così?
I think it might need one more card, so this is...
Could he steal the
That's a
game?
10 power Trampler.
That's the question now.
Baronati can attack for 3 in the air.
Oh boy.
Niente, ci deve provare.
Just went from being way ahead to gulp. Okay, here comes
Alright.
everything from Seth Manfield.
Giro tutto.
He's still got cards in hand too.
Oh,
And right now Simon's tapped out. Oh my goodness sakes, this has to be a very stressful moment for Nielsen.
Okay, so the Baronati gets in for 2. You can potentially make it 3. Assuming you don't block the worm, that's an attack for 10. That's 13 between the...
Cioè, 10 danni sono solo il worm.
creatures there, right? Let's say, but you have to double block Conceit Witch, so you're probably just letting the witch through, in which case you need to put something in front of the worm.
Simon has material he can throw away to just keep his life total high.
He can stay alive, but in order to stay alive, I think you need to put the glutton potentially in front of the worm. Just to stay alive.
Yikes.
Well, what happens if you don't? You put the glutton in front of the voracious vermin? Perhaps double block the beanstalk worm? Then you take how much? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus whatever tramples through?
Qua questi blocchi sono
10
importanti.
minus 7 is 3.
He has to consider wicked rolls here as well.
Not to mention, you still have to consider a little bit what kind of combat tricks that might have. Because if you just survive this turn, you still have to be thinking, I'm still the one with virtue of loyalty.
Right, and Seth's at 8. Like, is there a way he can block, survive, and then just kill Seth?
No,
you know, where
non
Seth is
penso.
in a desperation mode where he's like, I need to hope that you make a mistake or that you play too conservatively or whatever.
And look at this, he's going double block here. So that's a 7/7 and a 4/4 up against a 10 power creature. Seth can choose to kill the Hamlet button. The worm would also die, but Simon would still have a 4/4 in play.
Dude, that 1/1.
Right. He would have a 4/4 and a 4/3. The
Un 4/3.
miniature witch still lives, which does represent the lethal attack. If Seth doesn't have a follow-up creature.
No, infatti, sono da follow up, se no
Seth
è
picking up
finita.
some lands here.
Ooh, what can this be? Feed the cauldron? No.
He's just
Oh,
gonna
just a pump?
Strada.
Isn't Seth just dead here? Is this not an attack for 8?
We'll see if Seth has.
Okay,
Does
play
he,
the
have,
forest.
he can food token?
He does have a food token, so he played a land.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was a nice exchange for
Yeah,
Manfield.
absolutely.
He got both of the biggest creatures off the board from Simon's side.
Now remember,
Ho
virtual
due creature grosse in colpo solo, eh.
attack here for Simon Nielsen.
Yeah.
You attack for 8, take Seth down to 3, and you can still play something, and you get to untap your creatures.
Oh, wait a minute. Archon's Glory.
Well, that's 2, and you can
And
buy
he
it
can
back.
buy it back right now? And he's going to sacrifice the virtue because he's got lethal even through the food token?
Se no mi sa che è davvero finita.
Is
Through the food.
at minus
-1.
one. And there it is. Simon
Oh,
Nielsen
vince.
has improved all the way through undefeated the second limited round. And he is now going
Cominciato male, però si è ripreso di brutto.
0280, no problem.
Non male.
You know what? I mean, you have to give credit to Seth. He made it a fight because you were like, well, there's just no chance Simon can possibly come back, can possibly lose the situation. But he gave it a shot. But wow, really, really great play there at the end too. So Simon on a nice little heater here now.
In big picture and on this tournament as well. That's going to do it for the limited rounds here from the World Championship. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to transition back over to Standard. First, though, we're going to take a little break, and then you'll be right there with Maria, Monty, and they're fighting, and Cedric. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, standard. Finalmente. 23:20, più tardi di ieri sera, mamma mia.
Non vorresti uno smartphone unico e pieghevole come questo?
Non vorresti avere un display esterno fatto così? Non vorresti che il tuo smartphone si piegasse così?
Non vorresti che il tuo smartphone fosse tascabile così? Flex.
Dove sono? A Las Vegas, vero? Che ora sono a Las Vegas? Giusto per capire che ora stanno giocando.
Cerchi un'assicurazione auto semplice, veloce e conveniente? Fai un preventivo su allianzdirect.it. Per te 15% di sconto sulla
14,20 invece sta.
Messaggio pubblicitario con finalità promozionale. Prima di sottoscrivere leggi il set informativo sul sito.
Dopo aver preso tutto per sistemare il camper su eBay,
Tutto un po' di differenza di
partiamo per
ore.
la gara. Ma per sbaglio finiamo su un'altra pista, quella di Vale.
Quando la giornata è praticamente finita, io l'ho iniziata.
Sulle derapate ce n'è da lavorare,
eBay, un'altra storia.
Marra che non che. Uè Lucio, grazie per sub. Dai, che ora si comincia con lo standard, che sarà un pochino più divertente. Non che guardare il limited sia brutto, per guardare il limited è divertente. Però ti rende meno partecipe. Poi il limited è più bello proprio giocarlo. E ti scopri il set, per vari motivi. Sia per scoprire il set e giocare con carte che normalmente non giocheresti. Sono tante ragioni.
Michelin non smette mai di innovare.
Uè hamburger, ciao. Buonasera, buonasera.
Of a World Championship 29 from Las Vegas, Nevada. We've also got MagicCon Las Vegas going on in the building with us here. Thousands of players.
Madonna che bello il MagicCon. Vorrei troppo però andare a un MagicCon. Guardate quanti artisti. Minchia, Ferguson. Madonna, quante robe dovrei fare, firmare. Quanti artwork. Vabbè. Ma procede bene, dai. Ray Duke è ben piazzato per fare top 8. I nomi sono meno male gli stessi del Pro Tour dell'ultima volta, quelli che stanno facendo top, Gli italiani non li vedo per ora, non ho informazioni.
Maybe the best feeling in competitive Magic 3-0 in the draft. Now, of course, when you come in to day number 2,
No, costruito inizia ora, Inizia adesso. Speravo cominciasse alle 22:30 quando mi sono connesso per insomma, per vedere roba da subito lo standard, cominciare a streamarlo standard, però mi sono beccato ancora un'oretta di limited. C'era Ray Duke, appunto, che ha giocato e ha vinto l'ultima per fare 3-0 in draft. È stato interessante. Ha giocato BG Food con Splash Blue. E poi abbiamo visto l'ultima partita di Simon Nielsen, che ha vinto lui. Sono partite interessanti comunque, dai. Duke ha pilotato bene, ovviamente. Vabbè, grazie al cavolo. La partita, l'ha prolungata, ha cercato gli out. Ma anche di Simon è stata interessante quella che abbiamo visto.
Saltai in the second draft, all the colors, which leads me beautifully into the constructed deck you're playing. All the colors, little domain action.
Cosa gioca? Gioca domain.
You've got 3 win-ins. One step at a time. I know you're not going to get too far ahead of yourself, but what's the mindset now? I know you've been in this position before, but, you know, again, this is Worlds.
Yeah, the key is that I have to just do my thing. You know, the way that things can go really badly from here, so I start getting emotional, get in my own head, you know, like, picture one outcome and then that outcome doesn't happen.
Ecco, bravo, esatto. Ray Duke, approccio giusto, stay humble, concentrato. Do your thing.
Champion Reed Duke might be on his way to another top 8 at Worlds. Reed, good luck. It's fun times with Simon Nielsen. Now, Simon, you've been around the block a time or two. You know the deal. You start a tournament 0-2. That's not good. That's normally we say 0-2 drop.
Tra l'altro, come dicono adesso, Nielsen, faccio giusto il recap, anche vedo che siete arrivati un po'. Ha cominciato con 0-2, quindi.
I mean, definitely did not feel great about that. I felt like I hadn't really woken up at the time of the draft yesterday, but I had like my sights set on, you know, like I think my standard deck is still really good. If I can like hit this last round of the draft, I can like possibly go 3-1 and make day 2, and that's it. Like again, what I wanted to do.
Sono anche i mazzi.
And
Volgari, ragazzi, vabbè, non tutti però,
Then, like, you know, I lost the game to force creation, like in round 3 of draft. And so I was really behind, like when I ended up winning that match, and then I just like rattled off 4 straight wins with my standard deck. So the fire got back.
Dai, poi voglio vedere delle partite. Basta interviste. Fate come c'è su standard. Che mi ratevo la botta adrenalina. Mi stavo addormentando con Sealed.
Which means you essentially haven't lost in like 24 hours. And now the top 8 is well within your grasp. You've turned your entire tournament around.
It really has, yeah. Like, this is just crazy. I mean, I opened, you know, sat down today. I didn't have time to get breakfast. I was literally the last person to arrive at the draft tables. And I opened, expel the interlopers. Oh, that's pretty good. Next pack, open the white virtue. Oh, that's pretty good. So I ended up with a really nice band control deck. And yeah, took down Seth in the finals of the pod.
Yeah, a former world champion, Seth Manfield, who you took down in the finals of a pod. Now Simon is 8-2.
Comunque Nielsen fa troppo scassare con ste facce.
You like your constructed deck. You haven't lost with your constructed deck.
Deve essere un tipo simpatico.
Another top 8 on the way. Simon, I'm going to say it. I don't know if you need it, but I'm going to say it. Good luck.
Thank you, Seth.
Well, somebody else who had a rough start to a world championship once was none other than Yuta Takahashi. Started out 0-3, and then he ended up winning the whole thing.
No, eccolo.
Championship 27. You see him here with
Cosa fa?
Reed Duke, a player, but also a fan. Getting his fairy mastermind signed by Yuta Takahashi.
No, si sta facendo firmare i mastermind.
So wonderful. The players are the best of the game, but that doesn't stop them. Hi, Reed.
Si sta facendo firmare i Fairy Mastermind perché appunto è la carta di Miara.
All right, everybody, we're gearing up for round number 11 here in the tournament.
Tra l'altro il Mastermind, bella carta, sta facendo un po' di giri, si sta giocando. Boh, abbiamo la classifica, ragazzi, perché prima mi chiedeva gli italiani, direi che non ce n'è fino a 16. Ma c'era qualche italiano al Worlds? Mi pare di sì, tra l'altro. Vabbè, comunque, in ogni caso, non ne abbiamo per ora. Willy Edel, ma 12esimo, risuscitato dall'anteguerra. Nassif, buono. Seth Manfield, l'abbiamo visto prima. Depra, da un po' che non sentivo Depra.
Awesome stuff. There is our standings. All right, everyone. It's time to shift our attention from draft over to standard. Let's take a look at our standard metagame and find out what decks the pros brought here this weekend and in what numbers, Monty.
Yeah, well, when we came into the weekend, the talk, of course, was about Esper midrange. The most played deck in the field, 20 copies, 19%, not too bad. Mono red aggro, the next most...
Allora, abbiamo 20% del field Esper midrange. Mono red aggro, tanta percentuale, no? Tanti ha portato mono red aggro. Beh, ci sta, è molto forte mono red aggro su standard. Esper Legends, bel midrangeone. Domain Ramp, ok. Golgari midrange anche un buona percentuale. Mono White Humans un po' meno. Rakdos Reanimator che ha perso tantissimo. Non ha più la Fable, quindi indebolito as fuck. Gene Davis ha portato Mono White Humans, vabbè, mazzo semplicione, però forte. È simile a quello di Pioneer alla fin fine. Giochi taglia, umani in curva, gli blocchi la curva all'altro avendo taglia che blocca l'Endon Creature. Un po' di recursion al cimitero con la Specialist. Vabbè, alla fine come Adelina. Ray Duke, Domain Ramp, questo mazzo è molto molto forte. Rampo, 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 e te butto una Traxona. Ci sta. E per cercare di stabilizzare usi l'Arcangelo of Wrath che ti dà vite. Esper Legends, bello, giochi tutte quante praticamente leggendarie in curva più un po' di disruption, quindi qualche appunto go for the trot. La disruption tra l'altro la dà anche Airtie che può appunto counterare cose. Simon Nielsen Soldiers, mazzo molto forte. Curva, curva, curva con counter di backup. Vedo che ha integrato il Bunny, anche se non è un soldato. Ma sti cazzi, perché il Bunny è un mini Tarmogoyf dei mazzi aggro. È l'unicorno coniglio, quello. Bello forte. Ha 1-1 per ogni permanente non terra che hai. Band Control. Cosa giochi di verde per fare... Ok, il Charm. E Up the Beanstalk, ok. Ok. E per trigger up the Beanstalk giochi le line binding. Ok, carina, carina. Bella lista. E Rakdos Reanimator, molto forte, ma ha perso tanto perché ha perso appunto Fable del Mirror Breaker che aiutava tantissimo perché era un modo super super efficiente di scartare le carte al cimitero e rianimarle. Esper Mage l'ho visto prima. Però questa versione lui gioca... lui sta giocando più copie forse di quella che fa l'incantesimo che pompa tutto, vabbè. Esper Midrange, un'altra volta. Cioè questo è un po' diverso da Legends, ma il concetto è la stessa. Giochi delle bombe e hai il top end di curva un pochino più alto perché giochi AO, il dragone, quello di Kamigawa bianco. Esper Midrange, di nuovo. Vabbè, è 20% nel meta e quindi... Ma più che altro ci sta perché Esper Midrange ti dà... è quello che più ti dà la ledge contro tutto del 50-50. Se becchi... Allora, tu giochi un midrange. Quindi se ti becchi i mazzi ramp come quello di Duke, i ramponi, il cascade, tutti questi mazzi così, se tu giochi un midrange puro muori sempre. Perché non riesci a starci dietro, ti fanno la spell grossa, risolve al 100% perché non giochi counter, quindi muori. per dire Golgari, che è quello che sto giocando io. Invece Esper Midrange ha il vantaggio che giocando anche i counter può ogni tanto intervenire su queste giocate, prevenire l'entrata nel campo di battaglia di alcune carte chiave e vincere poi con la pressione che fa. Ha altre sfighe ovviamente rispetto a per dire Golgari Midrange, ovvio, però ci sta, è almeno il più generic good possibile del meta attuale. Sa, cominciamo? No, ancora mazzi. Vabbè, Ray Duke, che ce l'ha fatto già vedere, Domain Ramp. Ray Duke versus... Comunque Up the Beanstalk, ragazzi, avevamo detto che è una carta fortissima. Già qua in standard sta mostrando la sua potenza. Però appunto anche in modern piano piano. Golgari midrange. Tra l'altro posso vedermi la lista così posso copiarmela poi per quando su Arena. Cioè lo sto già giocando, provo a vedere cosa cambia dalla mia. Trilliana main deck, il tizio dell'avventura. Gioca quello. Le due costrizioni ce l'ho anche io. Ci sta. Ma infatti avevo capito che il numero giusto di costruzioni main deck era 2. Dai, i risultati che facevo. Perché dove lì si mettevano una, ma per giocare un mono scartino, che senso ha? Ma meno male comunque giocare la stessa roba che gioco io, a parte main deck lì il Geeks Command. Sa, dai, fammi vedere qualche smazzata, basta. Ah. Dai, ero nato in botta di adrenalina, in botta di zuccheri. Non mi fai riaddormentare, Wizard. Dammi le mie partite di Magic. No, io non ho guardato niente. Non ho guardato niente. Assolutamente, ho detto il Pro Tour lo guardo solo qua. Cioè, il Pro Tour, continuo a dire Pro Tour che non è Pro Tour. I Worlds li guardo solo adesso che mi connetto e basta. Ieri, a parte che ieri lavoravo. Ieri ho fatto sera, quindi ho finito la mattina presto, mi sono alzato e... bambino, asilo, robe varie, spesa, eccetera. Anche perché devo stare a casa a aspettare la spesa, robe varie. Sono andato al lavoro ho guardato una mazza. E poi niente, oggi invece lavoravo la mattina, quindi sono tornato a casa la sera, dormito, mattina lavoro e poi sono venuto a casa e quando sono rimasto a casa mi sono riposato, sapendo che oggi devo fare la tirata, infatti tanto mi vedete che sono qua che impazzisco e quindi non ho visto una mazza. Ma non lo so, a me non sembra così noioso. Molti dicono questo standard, vabbè, ma ci sta, sono impressioni, non dico che sia giusto o sbagliato. A me so standard non mi sembra così noioso, però c'è da dire che io arrivo con gli occhi di uno che l'ha saltato per 1000 anni. Quindi sì, addocchiavo cosa succedeva, però boh, alla fine per me è tutta una novità e quindi... Sì, no, anche tank. Vabbè, perché io le accumulo le due cose. Cioè, da vedere mi sembra anche molto interessante, dai. Poi, vabbè, ma ripeto, ci sta, sono cose soggettive. Uno può vedere in qualsiasi formato e dire è brutto da vedere, ci sta, non sono verità assolute queste. L'altro ha fatto il Dread Knight, se non sbaglio, vero? Sì, vedo. Ah, vabbè, sì, nel senso, ok, per il meta specifico sì. Per il meta specifico, ok, allora sì, ho capito cosa intendi dire. Per il meta specifico, sono d'accordo con te allora. Perché, sì, vabbè, io stavo considerando magari il generale, perché Cioè, per ora standard l'ho solo visto su Arena e becco un bel po' di mazzi. Sì, qua che il Worlds tendenzialmente il meta è sempre incentrato su un mazzo è brutto perché appunto 20% Esper, tutti giocavano Esper, quindi per forza, gioco forza, vedevi 1000 mirror di Esper. Ah beh, quello sì, 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 certo. Cioè, i mirror sono sempre una palla, il mirror è una rottura di coglioni incredibile. Cioè, non penso ci sia un mirror Magic che è divertente guardare, sinceramente. Cioè, il mirror di midrange diventa una guerra di top deck, quindi... Ah, beh, è vero, c'è anche quello control. C'era anche l'Esper control. Vabbè, almeno però quello gioca in maniera un po' diversa, non mette pressione. Tra l'altro l'Esper control di questo standard è proprio noioso, ragazzi. Vabbè, a Burger lo sa sicuramente perché segue il meta, lo sta giocando. Però per gli altri che magari non seguono molto standard, Esper controllo di questo T2 ha le win con bruttissime. Cioè non ha Planeswalker stile Teferi, costo 5, Jace My Sculptor, perché Jace My Sculptor non c'è in standard da secoli. Per farvi capire, una roba proprio secca che vinca bene, eccetera. Cioè, ci sono liste che giocano come chiusura solo il Wandering Emperor e la terra animabile. E la terra che caga i pippolini con Toxic. Basta. Basta. Cioè, tutto il resto sono rimozioni. Io mi facendo una fatica madonna arrivare mitico mono rosso. Perché è tagliato, ma penso mono R, quindi penso sia mono red. Ma Mono Red ci sta che... cioè, è un mazzo fortissimo e secondo me molta gente si è tarata. Cioè, io tra l'altro contro Mono Red sto bestemmiando perché ogni volta, anche se ho la side e tutto, sto morendo quando becco Mono Rosso. E quindi rosico. Cioè, mi sono messo un po' di carte che appunto sono spicy contro di lui. Le Virtue, tutto quanto, però... però è molto forte. Però ci sta perché comunque la gente si è tarata contro quel mazzo, si sta tarando perché Mono Rosso è proprio forte, è presente. Cioè questo comunque era il secondo mazzo più presente qui, quindi... Beh, Regiuk sta venendo un po' mazzuolato adesso. C'è sta Tartaruga e sto Death Knight che stanno facendo cose, però è arrivata la Soundfall. Cioè, faccio Soundfall e pesco. Che vuol dire faccio Soundfall e pesco? L'altro non so come ne esce, mo. Sì, costa troppo. Ma infatti dal vivo al standard e dal vivo l'ho rinunciato. Sono tornato a giocare standard su Arena e... perché appunto c'era Golgari Middle, cioè non potevo esimermi. Però non lo torno a giocare in Real. A parte che Real non saprei dove andare, perché tanto qua a Torino nessuno sta più facendo standard, I guess. Perché sinceramente, forse c'è qualche uno o due negozi che lo fanno, però comunque sinceramente non... No. Torno tranquillo, cioè me lo gioco tranquillamente su Arena e basta. Tanto non avrei tempo. Buttare i soldi per il Modern che non gioco va bene, perché tanto per adesso mi sono preso 4 Ragavan come regalo di anniversario, diciamo, con la mia compagna. Però so già che sono soldi buttati, nel senso che quei Ragavan io li giocherò, cioè mi arrivano, facciamo qualche mesetto, ma appunto poi non lo giocherò magari per mesi. No, perché da gennaio si ricomincia la season, però non so se riesco ad andare i sabati e le domeniche a giocare. E sabato e domenica è proprio dura per me, col lavoro. E quindi, cioè, magari li lascio lì e li giocherò a febbraio, marzo, inoltrato, boh, quando la season praticamente poi è andata. Però comunque, però dico, vabbè, sono dei Ragavan, stanno lì, non è che anche se prendono la polvere valgono dei soldi, sti cazzi, sono comunque, cioè, non va bene. Mentre lo standard no, cioè se lo comprassi poi butto i soldi dalla finestra perché non riesco a giocarlo. Anche se mi impegnassi a trovare i vari negozi che lo fanno e tutto, eh. E niente, quando sto mazzo qua risolve sta spell delle bestie è dura, boh, non so come... Non so come la risolvi sta roba. Sì, infatti li ho comprati perché i Ragavan li hanno ristampati, cioè è per quello. Cioè, perché sono calati di prezzo, allora li ho comprati. Extended Art, carini. Extended Art, quella di, per intenderci, quella di Modo Horizon 2, quella originale, insomma, con Ragavan con gli occhialoni. Adesso l'unica altra roba che vabbè, deve arrivare i Ragavan, deve arrivare Besieged Mirror per Centurion. Secondo me sono più contento, cioè, sono più contento di ricevere la roba di Centurion perché alla fine gioco quello con costanza il giovedì sera. Anthony Lee, niente, sta piano piano morendo, ma sta spella appunto che ti fa 5 pezzi, ma un'altra, e guagliò, niente, ciao ciao. Rip. Non c'era modo, non c'era modo. Cioè, ma neanche pescando il mono Geeks Command, ti sfratto il board, recupero pezzi, tanto Yuka va la mano piena, cioè, grazie a Up the Beanstalk. Comunque sto standard è pieno di incantesimi, quindi giocare tanti anti-enchant ci sta. Infatti per quello gioco 2 tira Sunder, perché ogni volta se trovo sempre dei target incantesimi maledetti. Se poi mi becco ancora di più tutti sti Up the Beanstalk, a maggior ragione. Vado a cercare la basica, guadagno 3 vite. Questa cosa è fortissima sta spell qua, ragazzi. Cioè, late game ti fa vincere perché metti troppe bestie 3-3. Early game non è un chiodazzo perché si cicla per una terra basica e ti dà 3 vite. Boh, cioè, che volete di più dalla vita? Cosa fa? Tappo 3, glissa? Liliana? Un tizio che rianima. Cioè, che rianima, che mangia il cimitero. Però, questa è allora, Ray Duke mi sembra che ha una bella mano incredibile. Beh, non mi sembra, poi magari sto sbagliando. Però l'altra ha cominciato in maniera estremamente lenta, ha fatto solo drop 3, non ha fatto altro. Adesso non so cosa ha in mano, Se ha in mano anti-enchant e una... così la vediamo, allora. Cottage, tira Sandero che anti-enchant c'è. Esce, ok, allora la mano è decente, ci sta. L'altro ha la Sheoldred che quindi fa molta pressione adesso. Poi ha l'anti-enchant, quindi se l'altro vuole fare poi rimozione su Sheoldred, poi tu la liberi subito. Tra l'altro puoi punire il suo Up the Beanstalk perché quando casta spell grossa vorrebbe pescare e quindi si becca i danni. Oh oh. Vediamo un po'. Il Duke c'ha Earth, Smite, Earth, Persistence, Go for the Trot. Ok, la palude ce l'ha, sì, l'ha appena giocata la palude, quindi volendo può ammazzare Sheoldred senza fare incantesimi o robe strane, quindi very good per lui. Dicono tutti quanti i mistake di Day Duke, che non ha tirato la removal, forse intendono quello, che ha tirato la removal non la sorcery, quindi ha fatto flippare la 4-4? Boh, non lo so. Ma penso che forse, adesso non so se col volume spento, Ma se la chat intende perché hanno fatto flippare l'affare, amen, a parte che il danno non è così tanto. Forse l'ha anche fatto per impedire che se io faccio rimozione a sorcery su Sheoldred, tu puoi fare Sheoldred in main phase e quindi magari usi il tuo mana bene. Boh, poteva anche essere quell'opzione. Che cannone l'Immigration. Vediamo un attimo cosa fa. Meno 3, ammazza Tartaruga e guadagna le vite. E niente, da fare. Ha pescato l'anda. Sì, ok, l'ha pescata. Vediamo. Vediamo un attimo. Costrizione. Cosa gli magna? Per forza quella. L'altro è l'arcangelo, che può essere vero spicy, bello spicy. L'arcangelo praticamente, per chi non lo conoscesse, costa 4, un 3-4 che vola. Kicker con Lori Rakdos, quindi in realtà l'angelo è Ops, microfono. Scusatemi, è caduto. L'arcangelo in realtà è una carta Mardu, perché ha bianco di se stesso, doppio bianco, tra l'altro. E Kicker un nero, un rosso. Tu per ogni volta che paghi il kicker, massimo due ovviamente, uno per ogni volta, fai due danni in giro quando entra. E avendo lifelink, essendo lui che fa danno, ti ricarica le vite. Quindi entra, spara 4 danni, tendenzialmente se paghi tutto e recuperi 4 vite. E in più altre 4 che vola con lifelink, insomma, è un bel palo. Ah. Ecco il Duke, vediamo cosa farà. Si è beccato la terra in testa più il colosso. Cioè il colosso, il Mannaro, scusatemi. The Cottage più il Mannaro, quindi 8 pigne. Più il dannetto dell'istituto della creatura. Vediamo un po'. Arcangelo. Tutto in testa. È un buon modo per recuperare le vite. Rimozione. Ed è meno. Vediamo cosa combina. Duke stappa. Oh, oh. Mhm. Non ho capito. Ah, sta ciclando. Cosa? Che passa così? Ah, rimetto le terre. Smash smash. 4, 8, 10. Prova, pesco. GG. Niente, l'altro è partito molto. Anche se è partito lento, c'è da dire, perché ha fatto subito il drop a 3 solo, non ha fatto il drop a 2. Va bene, però aveva la mano con Shelly bella attiva con l'anti-enchant. Scartino. Metto un po' di volume perché sennò è troppo noioso.
Target. We're getting a triumph down or a tri-land down.
Perfect information.
Uè, Pocio, grazie per il subscribe.
Says it's plenty worth it to cast that.
Ramble familiar. No fetch quest yet, but will help Anthony.
Il 3-2 per menare il Death Knight.
So now this will be interesting. Duress is one of the best cards from Golgari against this domain ramp deck, but Duress saw no other targets, so now it becomes this weird kind of sequence of when do you actually fire this Duress off, where it would make sense that Reed would draw, number one, a non-creature spell, and number two, a card that he couldn't cast. So now, going to 4 mana, you're probably going to play one of your 4 drops, but I would assume next turn, depending on what happens, you might...
Madò, 12 mesi. Madò. Cioè, forse è uno di quelli che ne ha di più, se non quello che ne ha di più. Grazie mille.
Could get the torches down or Shieldred, both are super impactful. Shieldred maybe a little more so.
I like Tortoise first to try to hit a land, probably, but yeah, I think both are great.
Cycling away.
Because since you already do have land 5, it's perfectly fine that you can go... I guess we don't have untapped land number 5, so we can't go Tortoise plus Duress next turn unless you draw land, so there was a cost to playing Shieldred first.
In response to the Shieldred, we saw all these cycles, so Reed wouldn't take any extra
Cosa fa in
damage.
risposta?
We have domain.
Close
Nice. So 2 mana leyline binding, getting Shieldred off the board before the draw trigger happens. Excellent find there for Reed Duke to keep the Apocalypse off the board.
And now Anthony's got to look, okay, I had information on your hand. We saw Atraxa, we saw Archangel, and I'm pretty sure we saw both lands. So I
Vediamo, vediamo.
this is perfect information for Anthony right now.
Drew another Shieldred?
Altra Shieldred. Madonna, quante Shieldred ha? 2 Shieldred in mano.
Shieldred, that's just like, so much.
Yep, Shelly is an impressive card.
Shelly. You're on first name basis, huh?
Yeah.
Shelly per tutti.
Put in a good word with the Apocalypse for me. I'd like to, maybe survive.
Yeah, Shieldred's beaten me down so many times that we're now on first name basis.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Well, there she is again. The second Apocalypse cometh. Untap.
3 cards in hand. After this, it looks like.
Dupigne.
So our graphic there may not be entirely correct. So it looks like we got the Tortoise, a Misery Shadow, and Duress. So no other Shieldred in hand. Both of those have been seen on the board. Thank you for flicking through your cards, Anthony. Much appreciated.
Vediamo cosa combina. Arcangelo. Pum! E guadagno 2 vite.
Smacking a poor little raccoon and getting some life.
So Reed did have an option there to play Topiary Stomper and then line up a for sure Atraxa next turn.
Yeah.
Decides that I'm getting too much pressure with my life total here. It's time to get the Archangel down and start mitigating some of this damage that Shieldred's going to do. Oh, this Duress is gonna whiff. Got him.
Costruzione.
Spend 1 mana, do nothing.
That beautiful foil Atraxa.
That is very shiny. That's like, you know, burn your retinas.
Io cosa fa? Attacca i Shelly. Piglia le pigne, 16, più altri 2 andrà a 14 dopo che ha pescato. Minchia, la regina della combat.
This Topiary Stomper will at least be able to get to land 7 to block that, but once again, the stats on Glissa, blocking it is not very good.
Yeah.
First strike Death Touch deals with anything.
Arrivo che prendo calci snack.
There's another Shieldred just
Go for the
waiting there.
throat was huge.
Excellent draw here for Reed Duke, able to take care of Glissa. I mean, what's the biggest problem right here?
Yeah, it's close. Both are definitely troublesome in their own way. You know, if you kill Shieldred and then Glissa connects, you get Shieldred back. So that's the nightmare scenario that Reed has to avoid. So that might just be a reason in itself to get Glissa off the battlefield, and then just assemble Atraxa for the following turn, and then find a removal spell after that. So, AK, that means leave Shieldred on the battlefield for 3 more turns, and, you know, that's a real cost as well, but Archangel will be able to gain a little bit of life.
Yeah. So, you know, at this point, it's a case of, all right, well, I can deal with Glissa, gain 3 life. If I need to block with a Stomper, it is there and available to me. Just getting lands out.
Yep.
Removal in hand, next turn Atraxa, and hope that there's nothing from any to deal with it.
Yeah, and I mean there really isn't. You know, there's no hand disruption spell that also hits creatures in the list for Anthony. There's not many of them in the format, anyways. But yeah, Pilfer being one of them. So it's gonna happen. But now it's can Anthony leverage a removal spell to push it out of the way and then push through damage before Reed can, you know, get his feet on the ground and stabilize this board.
Yeah, it's been scrapping here for a foothold, as you mentioned. So passes the turn, 3 mana up.
And this go for the throat is hidden information. Reed drew it right after the Duress.
Okay, that's fine then.
Duress is a dead draw here from Anthony because you fire that off, you know, it's the go for the throat is just going to be cast in response.
Eh sì.
So, terrible draw from Anthony.
Costrizione dall'altra parte non serve a niente.
If Reed were tapped out, that would have been fantastic.
Yep.
For the time being, looks like we're going to see 2
Doppio blocco.
Shieldred here.
Ci sta. Per togliere dalle scatole poi con Go for the Throat l'altra che è intoglibile in combat.
So Reed did a really nice play there here. Obviously already wanted to just double block Shieldred and is fine for that 2-for-1, but gave Anthony all the opportunity in the world to go for the throat, one of those creatures or something, and then deal with it there. Yeah, and as it stands with the way that Death Touch works, you do have to assign all 4 damage to the creatures, so 4 toughness will still mean that only one of the creatures gets dealt with, so yeah, not even a single one.
Survives.
Yeah.
So if you want to survive the apocalypse, get a dinosaur.
Yeah, there you go.
Duke just stepping away for a second here. Blossoming Tortoise on the board for Anthony.
Which land did you pick?
Yeah. Unless we're misunderstanding something there with Death Touch there, I believe you do have to assign lethal damage. Maybe that was Reed asking, hey, were both creatures supposed to die? You know, is there damage you had to assign? But as it stands, we're just going to attack and then get a track.
Infatti devono morire entrambe le creature. Vabbè che non cambia niente, perché tanto mo fa Traxa e GG.
3 enchantments, Sunfall, 4
Vabbè, Enchant ha 2 scelte. Il Sunfall.
Sorcery, enchantment, land, creature.
Nice.
I'm gonna choose this one.
E via.
Land, if we need to cycle it, that's a possibility.
Yep. I'm gonna play Spar's Headquarters.
Nice. Pretty good hit there off Atraxa. Duress and Misery Shadow aren't going to be able to
Si è scaricato il cellulare, quindi prendo un attimo una soluzione alternativa per vedere la chat.
stands right now. Okay, all right. Anthony just saying, you know what, you got to do
GG.
that is 10 wins here for our Pro Tour for actually all be one champion. So Reed Duke another top 8 for his list of
Ha la top 8 assicurata. Spicy. Grande Duke, si è confermato per l'ennesima volta.
Probably should have just taken my medicine and like killed it right away, but I made a judgment call, then things spiraled out of control.
There we go, and you know that is
Ah, ok, sta mettendo della cosa di prima che la chat diceva. Della questione della removal fatta a instant che doveva fare a sorcery, traspasser, eccetera. Sì, vabbè, comunque è stato un errore marginale, niente di che.
what could I have done better? Even in a match he wins, that's what separates the greats from the elite.
Oh yeah. And Reed Duke is certainly one of those. We're going to head up to Maria and Mani right now to find out more about our next matchup, so don't go anywhere.
Hey friends, don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we've got Ili Kassis versus Kenji Sego.
Domain control contro Esper midrange.
Of domain control, 4 copies of Up the Beanstalk, tons of expensive spells and controlling elements, allowing the set to really be grindy while still having more agency. On the other side, Kenji is playing Esper midrange, the most played deck of the weekend, and very much trying to be ready for all coming threats.
Provo a fare anche così solo un attimo, anche se per un attimo impazzirà tutto, quindi scusatemi. Che mi sa che è la soluzione migliore. Canale. Però metto silence. Ok, la metto solo giusto per vedere ogni tanto la chat più rapidamente, via.
Benvenuti in questo ride speciale di 30 secondi, esattamente. Anche i miei spot devono essere metanarrativi. In un mercato videoludico pieno di AAA e non console è fin troppo semplice prosciugare le proprie finanze. Come direbbe un esperto, è pericoloso procedere da soli, ed è per questo che siete qui. Grazie al conto Hype Next avete la possibilità di gestire le vostre finanze in maniera efficiente ed efficace.
È la quinta volta che te vedo. Basta. Faccio come gli streamer, quelli che si addormentano e poi la chat fa le varie challenge per svegliarlo. Potrei provarci, non è una bella cosa, dai. Cioè, Magic and Sleeping.
Non vorresti che il tuo smartphone si piegasse così?
C'è può sta.
Dopo aver preso tutto per sistemare il camper su eBay, partiamo per la gara. Ma per sbaglio finiamo su un'altra pista, quella di Vale.
Adesso vedremo una partita, boh, speriamo abbastanza interessante, anche se Domain... Vabbè, dai, Domain... Beh, oddio, in realtà non è tanto diverso. Alla fine becchiamo sempre un Midrash contro Rampone. Però vabbè, c'è da dire che per Midrash qualche counter lo ha, quindi forse se la cava un po' meglio. Può counterarti la Traxona. Che alla fine è quello il problema. Facendo big counter che ci toglie dalle palle tutti i problemi, se no...
Michelin non smette mai di innovare per permettere a tutti di muoversi meglio. Michelin, Motion for Life.
Back. Questo con la mano alzata. Judge. Ma hanno la mascherina ancora, Judge? Cioè, questo Judge almeno. E ci sta, in realtà comunque le mascherine, cioè, non mi fa strano vedere. A parte che già anche prima, comunque, al netto del Covid, andare nei posti così super affollati, mettisi la mascherina alla fin fine. Già un po' di gente verrà non propriamente lavata e pulita perché fa chissà che viaggioni, eccetera. Poi, insomma, i tornei di Magic non sono famosi per quella cosa, per insomma essere super infiorettati e profumati, quindi ci sta. Ma in generale, comunque, andare nei big events, di qualsiasi cosa, avere la mascherina alla fin fine. Ti puoi assicurare che non ti becchi l'influenza, che comunque non è che ci muori, però, cioè, oddio, può succedere, però insomma, siamo capiti. Però comunque è un orto per di cazzo, cioè, se devi andare al lavoro, far robe, tutto, che palle. Sta lì con 40 di febbre nel letto che guardi il soffitto. Ma addosso Giappo come me spara. Rifallo, voglio vedere. No, dai, volevo vedere il trick di prima con la mano, era troppo figo. Sembra una macchinetta.
Plus human to boot as well, you know, like in the last World Championship, in the finals, he was telling Nathan Stoyer, this is how you beat my deck. And we don't want to be like, well, you probably shouldn't have done that, but that's just the kind of player he is, right? You know, he wants to have the best possible.
Kenji fa la partenza con Dennick.
Which is great, you know, but he even said, I want to do one better than last time, so absolutely, maybe world champion. Time will tell.
It's like the proud dad of the Pro Tour.
Bella carta Dennick però, eh. Vedo che cimiteri, 2-3 lifelink.
Looks like Ely did mulligan to 6 this game, with Kenji keeping a fresh
De curva.
excellent start.
Good grief, look at this go. Got Dennick, we got Lord Skitter's Sewer King. Lord Skitter's second ability doesn't trigger though with Dennick out, right? Target?
Yes, because it's target, it would not work.
So just extra in case I'm going to get rid of your graveyard. But Ely gets these ones and none of that. So leyline binding along with
The binding.
Both of those creatures and the graveyards are free game once again.
And Ely did test with the rest of Team Channel Fireball that, you know, Reed playing that domain list, but his list is much different, much more controlling, plays 4 Chrome Host Siege cards instead of some of the other things like Topiary Stomper, and really is trying to just control the battlefield more. Now, that being said, he did 6-0 limited and only 2-2 constructed here with that 8-2.
Ma no, esiliamo tutto. Sheldred.
But he's also playing a bunch of Shieldreds in the deck.
Ertai.
These creatures don't stay on the board long enough for us to even register. You know, there's been a
Lo sto morendo tutto quanto instant.
Thank you. We had Dennick Pie's Apparition bubbled up there by another leyline binding. So cards flying fast and furious here for both players.
Alright, let's see what our follow-up is here. Looks like Kenji's still got 4 cards in hand, with Ely at 2 or 3 there.
This domain control deck has been so impressive.
Yeah, whatever iteration you have of it, it very much is great. When you just play all the best possible cards, Ely is
Dennick.
up the beanstalk and leyline binding, so that's kind of the backbone of his deck. Just really maximizing that card, and we've seen up the beanstalk just be so good that
So
playing
many
anything
formats.
less than 4, you know, really seems silly at times.
There was so much debate on social media about Up the Beanstalk, you know, half of them saying, yeah, it's great, and half time, no, it's trash. Pretty darn good, as it turns out. Turning all of your 5-mana value spells into cards.
Duke effettivamente ora può andare a giocare al casino e stazione tranquillo, è top 8.
Which is a nice little card, exiling it, and you just get to peek at what's going on in your opponent's hand.
Cosa ha fatto? The End.
Dennick on either side will be cast here, and you get to see how your opponent's sideboarded. So the end gives you a lot of good information while being a okay removal spell.
Yeah,
Four mana is a
it's
lot.
not amazing or anything, but it's certainly information. Good, I'm glad we're not the only ones who get tripped up by alternate arts
Yes.
and the like.
And it does look like Kenji not only you know, has cards in his language, of course, but also has a really cool looking deck with all these foils and all
Oh
that.
yeah,
So
that's beautiful, you know.
really nice.
You can fancy up your deck, if not, why not?
Looks like Virtue, Destroy Evil, and the Wandering Emperor in hand for Kenji. Able to deploy the Wandering Emperor right now, I believe, as long as that mana base
però
agrees. That looks like a Ganjo there for the second white source, and Adakar waits.
se ne fa poco, ma ho buttato Emperor così a caso.
Okay. A Ganjo, yep.
Thank you, Ely. Yeah, see? Towards your dad.
There we go, helping us out.
Oh, yeah. So, with perfect information now, where does Ely go from here? Don't have his cards in hand available, unfortunately, but let's see what he deploys.
Un'altra Sheldred, Shelly.
And let's see if that 2 mana Ely has a negator, a disdainful stroke for this Wandering Emperor. And Kenji did have the opportunity to cast the Wandering Emperor before Ely had mana, so could backfire. Doesn't look like it's going to.
Yeah, that would have been a steal for Ely, but Sheldred just on the board now has to fight through. We saw Destroy Evil, so the Sheldred is likely not long for the world, but the Wandering Emperor down on the board and assembling her forces.
Yep, and there's one negate in the board. Maybe Ely was saving it for that.
Spacca Shelly.
Okay. Double Sheldred's down. Let's see if the next variant of Sheldred will survive.
Yeah, you think it'll be a third art as well?
I think so. I'd bet on that. It's Vegas. May as well bet on something existential, consequential. Sheldred Sanctum.
Maybe a tapping issue.
Qualche problema di ruling?
That's what I'm looking for. I will ask you if you can remain the initial top lander. Don't change it.
A posto.
Okay. And what Ely is saying there is by tapping the lands and then knowing it resolved, there was information gained. So most of the time, if nothing changed, you can untap the lands, but there was some information gained, so it looks like it was forced to continue.
No, infatti. Dipende dalla situazione.
I'm sure that won't even come up in this game, but something to be careful about.
For sure.
Comunque ha risolto il problema di ruling.
Here between two grindy mid-range and control decks in Esper mid-range and domain control. Emperor continuing to add to the board here. Another soldier.
Swinga dentro.
Points of damage, so down to 12 goes Ely Cassis.
And one thing that Ely's deck does not contain is Atraxa. You know, that big over-the-top effect that we saw from Reed's list of domain control. So there's not as many, comeback mechanisms in Ely's version of domain control. So these kind of board states look to be even worse. This kind of, trying to come back from this is amplified when you don't have the powerful spells.
Yeah.
There is Sheldred's Edict to get rid of the Planeswalker. With one card in hand for Ely, he's in a lot of trouble, especially with this Virtue coming down next turn.
Modern Battlefield teams and virtual loyalty.
Grow, veniamo capascato.
I mean, just look at the battlefield. 4 creatures. Kenji's just like, sure, I'm a swing. And, 3 mana available for Ely, but not doing anything about this attack. Down to 3 he goes. Kenji is looking poised to pick up his 8th win here.
Swing.
Yep, absolutely. Ely will have to take down 2 of the next 3 to make it to the top 8, and same with Kenji.
Cioè, Kenji sta proprio picchiando come un fabbro, Ciao, questa partita vediamo, dovrebbero finire all'1-1. In ogni caso vado un attimo solo in bagno, torno, detto questo secondo me ci sarà un G3 perché questa Kenji ce la fa a portarla a casa.
Okay, if that other card is land in hand, then Sunfall into this, and Ely would actually be in a pretty great situation, but it's gotta be there.
No, that's it. The hand extends to Kenji Sego, picking up the win here, improving to 8 wins. So for both players, 2 more wins to go before they can lock up their spot in the top 8, Corey.
Yep, absolutely. And it sounds like, if Ely were to sneak in there, he'd be like, can we change it to a booster draft for the top 8 with his record being 6-0 for that one? But yeah, big congrats to Kenji on a nice win there.
Yeah, maybe we can sign a petition somewhere and get boosters.
Yeah, sure.
Who knows? Alright, friends, we are going to take a quick break, and when we're back, we're going to be with the news desk of that.
Ho sempre pensato che cercare di essere quanto più me stesso possibile sia poi la vera vittoria. Per me tutto è una fonte di ispirazione, in particolare il mio quartiere che è lo sfondo su cui le mie canzoni scorrono. Il mio cuore è tutto sulla musica e ti permette di esprimere te stesso a 360 gradi. Adidas Originals ha una lunga storia, questo è un brand che ha creato una sua originalità, un suo modello di look e io mi ritrovo in questo.
Rieccomi. Ah, ecco l'italiano, 7-4, no, vabbè, fuorissimo. Adriano Moscato, 6-4-1. Fuori, fuori. Camilluzzi, 6-5. Niente, sto giro gli italiani non ce la fanno. Vabbè, succede. And go! Finito il countdown.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, and World Championship 29.
Che bello quel trenino che vola sopra lì. Nella sopraelevata. Ci starebbe bene anche a Milano una cosa così.
On day 2 of competition, ever closer to our top 8. Let's take a look at our leaderboard and find out where we are at. Reed Duke has hit that magic number 10. He is the first member into our top 8. Monty, what does that mean for everybody else?
Bene, Duke è unstoppable, sempre top.
If you get to 10, you're in. So for Simon Nielsen, he's now the person that is one win away and has 2 rounds of win-ins before that ultimate round. For everyone else, still at least 2 wins away, so nobody else is within that throwing distance other than Simon Nielsen right now.
All right, so a lot of really big moments coming up here in these final rounds of standard here on day 2 of competition. You see Eli Cassis in there, 8-3 as well. Somebody who came in second.
L'unico posto assicurato 100%.
Here is our top 8 so far. Reed Duke in with 10. 10 is the magic number before the final round of play. Who will be joining him? We'll find out so soon. And there's Reed taking a picture with teammates there. So
Fotina
happy
di gruppo.
top 8 here at this World Championship. Congratulations to him at being the first person into our top 8. Cedric talked to him after his big win last round. All right, we're queuing it up.
Ok, siamo bloccati un attimo, infatti si guardavano negli occhi.
This is what the players are playing for this weekend. All right, let's hear from Reed now.
This guy again. Reed. Again? Again?
Can I say?
Reed, you just won your match to lock it up, to make the top 8 of another world championship. Easy question. How's it feel, man?
It feels awesome. I mean, this is what I woke up in the morning hoping to do, and just keep the train rolling for Sunday. And
Grande Raid, grande Raid Duke.
I mean, you don't get that many shots to be the world champion, so I really want to make the most of it. So for constructed.
the story's kind of going around a little bit. Late game audible. I've known him for a while. I don't think of him as someone who makes kind of the late game switch. Now, trusting with Steve, okay, that makes some sense. Domain control, clearly within the wheelhouse of what you like to do. But after you decide...
Però vabbè, mi aspettavo giocasse vabbè, ci sta, BG midrange non è così forte. Cioè, di un meta super ristretto come quello dei Worlds, che quindi ci saranno pochi mazzi e magari un mazzo spammato tanto, ha senso scegliere un deck, cioè un deck magari anche contro il proprio stile, più cose così. Vabbè che Raging può giocare bene tutto, però ci sta, non è detto che possa giocare a BG midrange, magari lo porterà a qualche altro torneo, ma non qui. Sto piano piano morendo. Deck Tech?
Top 8 competitor and number 1 ranked player in the Player of the Year race, Javier Dominguez. Javier, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I cannot complain. I cannot complain. So you're playing Golgari mid-range today. Maybe not necessarily the most flashy deck we've ever seen. What made you want to play this here at the World Championship?
Well, honestly, just like, I think I'm gonna go to play the deck well. Like other decks, I'm afraid I might make some mistakes, and Wolf is like the toughest tournament, it's the best players here, and I just thought like if I'm in a stress situation like in the finals, semi-finals or whatever, I want a deck that maybe it's not the best, but it's the one that's best for me. I want to play it well, and I think that's big.
Fai vedere il mazzo, fai vedere il mazzo. Quella scelto perché si sente comfortable, ci sta.
So let's start by checking out some of the cards here. I would say one of the new cards and probably the most mid-range card I think we have ever seen is Mosswood Dread Knight. Tell us about this one.
Che bello Dread Knight.
Yeah, it's very cool to play with. It's like Spaniard, remember that card, but for mid-range. Yeah. So what's the rest because from mid-range is hard to kill, it can block, can no parse, can also tag. It's like a very mid-range card. It's very well. Like,
Best card for midrange.
being green. And one of the strongest cards in the set.
L'adoro.
The Falcon is small guy.
And I mean, just the value, never really ending, constantly going back on that adventure, ends up being excellent. One of the other new cards here we have is Blossoming Tortoise. This card has a lot of synergies in the deck. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, for starters, it's big with the Vigilance.
Vabbè, ti anima le terre. Sconta l'attivato delle terre, che sono animabili.
It's quite high, but this is a card that you have to deal with sometimes, like most of the times, but still is valid in the battlefield. I think that's very good. That's something like
Molto forte. Torto è very very forte.
Yeah, shields are definitely one of the most powerful.
Una delle mie carte preferite sono standard.
But if you just kill it, sure you lost two life or whatever, no big deal. But you were saying some of the creature lands that it goes into, Mr.
Ha anche potenziale magari nel gran poltrove,
Restless Cottage here has to be one of the
Tra l'altro scontando a prescindere l'abilità attivata delle terre può anche fare qualche combetta, robe, buone sinergie.
the land, that phenomenon, like the creature land, yeah. It's just like a big payoff because it's just a creature that's red on itself, also the entire like creature decks, and it's like mana 15 as well, like it makes it mana better. I think the deck might not exist if it was not for this creature land.
And the Tortoise making it cheaper, does that come up pretty often?
Not only cheaper, but also big.
Yeah. Attack for 5 if you have one.
No, they add up very fast. Like, you have 2 of these lands, and Tortoise, then like suddenly they're for 13 out of one card. That's what's wrong.
And if you ever have like one Tortoise in play, 6 mana, you can play another one and then activate it, something like that.
There's a lot of wild things happening in Tortoise.
Yeah, absolutely. So besides that, we have some other creatures that kind of fill off the curve here.
Oh.
You have some one-ofs, you have some two-ofs.
Senti, l'ho lore l'avevo tolta.
Slayer is one that has just been an incredible card. Maybe didn't really have a home, in standard the last couple times. Like, is this just an auto-include in every Golgari deck, or what do you like about this?
I think so. I mean, I think it was not playing much because of Fatal Dominator Maker. We know that 2 was like very high.
It's not quite fair.
Yeah. But this is a creature that always wins the combat, or at least ties the combat.
Yeah.
And this is a creature that's hard to ignore, which is played and the opponent often has to look at it, and that's very good at protecting Shieldred. It's something that started very well. So I think it's like a two-player tier.
Okay, it's the glue that holds it together. Speaking of another card that
Che bomba, la glissa, non si vede.
we've seen for a very long time, that's Graveyard Trespasser. Now you have some strong opinions about this card, right?
Yeah, I think this card, like, it doesn't look very good. Like, I always try to back it from my decks, but I tell you that eventually, like, your deck comes to something, and I put it back. And this was good in the last Shadow deck, Battle Mid-Range. But you can find it here also. This is a good card that is pretty much the glue of the deck in this case.
Yeah, absolutely. And Graveyards are
Ah, mi piaceva tanto il Trespasser, beh, ci sta un po' così, però il Trespasser quando lo togli poi senti la differenza e lo vuoi rimettere, infatti quello che è successo.
You know, you have some cut downs, gigs commands, like a lot of one-ups and stuff. Do you just like one-ups, or is this very calculated amount of removal stuff?
I do like one-ups a lot. I feel like one-ups sometimes do spread the answers like very well, and you know, having access to these cards as one-up means the opponent's decks cannot play on it. Yeah. But also, like, you know, it's good to have access to them. Like, sometimes you draw them, and then you can sculpt your game around that. Okay. And they can also not see it coming. So I like to have these like big cards that have these commands, which is answer in a way.
Ah, yes, deck è lunghissima.
Sometimes they don't go well, but
yeah, it's hard to play around a lot of one-ups, that's for sure. Well, Javier, last time we did a deck tech, you top 8'd. I hope the same for you. Best of luck.
Vabbè, può ancora vincere l'autopotto, dai. Ma Javier può farcela, non gliela voglio tirare dicendo che ce la fa, però è molto forte, fa delle belle giocate, belle spicy e anche non facili da vedere. L'altra volta ho giocato Tron, che è un mazzo super lineare, ma ha fatto delle giocate strafighe che proprio uno dice, oh mio Dio, ma stai giocando Tron, che è un mazzo che non ha scelte, nonostante questo ha fatto delle cose incredibili.
Everybody, welcome back to the new desk here. As we gear up for round 12, we're of course trying to give away that trophy to somebody here this weekend, but we also are going to award a Player of the Year title, which is a highly, highly coveted title that we're bringing back this year. Let's take a look at where we stand in our Player of the Year race. Take a look at this. This is not how it looked at the start of the weekend, everybody. Reed Duke now leading the field there on 57 points.
Pam, 57.
Means he's out of the tournament, cannot earn any more points, but the only person who can catch Reed now is Simon Nielsen. And Simon Nielsen needs to make top 8 to force this race into tomorrow. Good news is he has 2 rounds to do so. We're going to find out if he can make top 8, and in fact, if he can become Player of the Year and see Reed Duke from that top position here coming up over the next couple of days. All right, everybody, let's get ready for round number 12 and find out who we're going to watch in our feature match here. Hey,
Simon contro Anthony Lee.
Versus Anthony Lee. Azoria Soldiers versus Golgari Midrange. Let's get to our players. Simon Nielsen, 2 Pro Tour top 8s this season. A good reason why he's doing so well in that Player of the Year race. The winner of the World Magic Cup in 2014.
Mentre continua, altra cosa per tenermi sveglio, perché voglio vedere ancora sta partita, poi probabilmente stacco anch'io. Però vabbè, domani riesco a stare un po', vediamo. Per riuscire a stare fino alla top, almeno l'annuncio della top 8.
English, Nathan Sawyer, and Simon Nielsen now. Nathan and Damon, not great day one. Simon doing great with it. The second reason they brought it is they wanted to play Make Disappear in the standard format, and they believe this is the best Make Disappear deck. Makes sense, you have a lot of flash threats and cheap creatures, so you're always able to up Make Disappear, alongside being able to put on a lot of pressure on your opponent. One of the key parts of this deck, the Knight Errant of Eos, gives you a huge re-up in value using all those cheap creatures that you're playing, and of course Convoke continues to allow you to leave up mana to play on your opponent's turn. On the other side, we see Anthony Lee, member of Team Handshake as well, so this is a battle between teammates, but him and Javier decided to go against the grain and bring this Golgari mid-range deck because of comfort. The deck is very cool, they found some success with it. Moxwood Dread Knight, the excellent new inclusion to the deck, headlines the creature suite that is followed by Glissa, Shieldred, and the Blossoming Tortoise. The deck is all about being able to grind, being able to have these sorts of card advantage to go alongside your cheap threats and take the game late. You're a little unfavored when you're being put under a lot of pressure like the Soldier's deck.
All right, in this matchup, Monty, what should everybody be watching for in particular?
Okay, so I think for this specific matchup, I would be looking for a sideboard button that is coming out of Anthony's deck, which is Path of Peril. Normally, this is not the best board wipe, considering it's a little expensive if you want to use the full cleave cost. However, against the Soldier's deck, just playing
Path of Peril, bellissima carta per questo standard. La sto usando anche in BG Midrange, anche se non ho il bianco. Per il semplice fatto che comunque spaccare da 2 in giù contro gli aggro è fortissimo.
All right, everybody, that's our setup of round number 12. Let's find out what happens. Over to Marshall and Paul with Paul in the booth.
Thank you, Maria. Welcome to the booth here at the World Championship. Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon. And I mean, this is about as big as it gets if you're seeing Simon Nielsen see with just one victory needed to secure that top 8 slot. And let's not forget, he started 0-2.
0-2 into 9-0. And if he lost a slot into the top 8, then Player of the Year is also up for grabs.
Incredible pressure on him, though it is spread out over potentially this round and next. But I'll tell you what, he'll want to take care of business right here and right now. The person who's going to try to stop him from doing just that, Anthony Lee, sitting across from him. He sleeved up Golgari mid-range for the tournament, and he's had quite a wild ride here as well. We followed him early in the morning on his booster draft.
Dai, oh, come sta la partita.
In game number 1. Big picture matchup. Paul, who's favorite? Who do you like here?
I think it's a pretty close matchup. Both, you know, this Azoria Soldiers deck has kind of a lower curve, but it's not the most aggressive deck. We have 2 more aggressive decks in the format in mono white, mono red.
Costrizione, che non so se ci sarà un target.
To gain access to make disappear and counter magic to help you against the slower decks in the format. Now, this Golgari deck, it does have some somewhat expensive cards, but it also has cheap cards that interact.
No, ma no, questa cosa qua di costrizione, infatti mi capita anche spesso, anche se è il numero giusto averne 2. Solo che ti capitano poi queste mani e dici, mannaggia.
Cards like Cut Down, Go for the Throat, cards that allow you to also play at instant speed, so that if you have that option, maybe you save that and pass to play around your opponent to make disappear.
Pesco, ci sta. Sapevo che faceva così, guarda. Non ho visto le carte in mano che aveva, ma non ci ho riscommesso.
And you see the Mosswood Dread Knight is on an adventure thanks to, what is it called? Dread Whispers.
Oh my god. All right, and then of course getting Convoke. This is going to be
a
huge turn here from Simon Nielsen.
Convoke 4.
He had the 1 mana left over plus the 4 creatures getting tapped. This is only turn 3.
Yeah, and the Golgari midrange deck, at least game 1, doesn't have a way to kind of clean up the board like this. Monty mentioned Path of Peril being one of the most important cards, but that's a card that you see in the sideboard. So this is going to be really tough here for Anthony Lee.
Near maximum on that X as well. Didn't quite see what he found.
Dura. Questa... non so come la tira su. Già dal terzo turno non so come la tira su.
Simon's hand just kind of has it all here. We have the Iganjo too. The Regal Bunnycorn is a 6/6 if you play it next turn.
No kidding.
No removal here for Anthony Lee. His only option here is probably just to run out a Graveyard Trespasser. Oh, never mind. Looks like there is a Virtue of Persistence, but no great target, right? You can kill a 1/1.
That is not a great use of your turn, generally speaking. So it is just going to be the Trespasser. No targets for that either.
Però...
And he's going to pass the turn back.
Non ci sono chissà che target. C'è niente.
Of course, it does become daytime with that Trespasser hitting the battlefield.
Yeah, I imagine Simon is just interested in just playing as many threats here as possible. You get a free attack here from the Knight Errant as it is a 4/4. Could also consider just attacking with everything just to force 1 point of damage through. It's like he ups against that, but hey, I mean, get you for 4. Oh my goodness. Sentinel.
Seriously?
Convoke. Bunnycorn. All the value.
Wow, this is insane here for Simon Nielsen. He's just overwhelming Anthony.
4 pigne direttamente così.
As well. 5 5 soldiers are on the battlefield. So next turn, they're all gonna fly. They're getting bigger.
You're not getting Hobbin. What can you reveal?
He's just dumbstruck here.
Yeah.
Look at him. What's going on?
Yep. That's all you can say.
That's
Yep.
about all you can do. Unbelievable draw here for
Madonna.
Nielsen. I mean, Anthony drew a card, played a 3/3.
Hey, Anthony played a spell on turns 1, 2, and 3 this game.
True, yeah, he did play turns.
And he is extremely behind.
Missed with everything.
I mean, I'm thinking the best possible draw here would probably be a Children off the top, right? But,
Sure. And then you just lose.
And then you die.
Yeah, your best possible draw isn't very good. You're in a really bad spot.
Pam, coniglio, vai. E la pressure si ria, il coniglio è 2, 5, 6, 7. Minchia, 7, 7. Troppo forte il coniglio, poi gli aggro col bianco. Avevamo detto che era un bestiale. E non è un soldato,
And Anthony did find the best possible in the Children here, but not sure that it's going to be
Ed
good
è troppo
enough given
staccaccio di
that he was
arrivo,
able to find, that Simon was able to find that Harbin, and with the 5 soldiers that he can attack with, they're all going to gain flying. So that's an attack for 11 in the air. Now, I suppose you can kill a soldier here.
So he's going to kill a soldier and then scoop up his car. Simon Nielsen chuckles there, but that is game number 1. Very quickly going to Simon Nielsen. One big step towards that top 8. And we're underway here in game number 2.
Now, things get a lot better here for Anthony after Cyborg. Path of Peril is phenomenal.
Is he actually going to hit with duress this time?
That's a good question.
Simon slow rolling him.
Oh, no.
Got one.
This hand not quite as explosive.
This is kind of funny because this is a really high stress, high stakes match they're playing. But these are two of the
G2.
funniest players in the field. So they're still just joking around.
Yeah, and they're teammates. So
they know each other on top of it. I wonder if it just feels like a playtest game to them.
I just want, yeah, this makes
Vabbè, quello di prima era troppo spruzzo con sto aggro, l'ha distrutto. Pam.
And this is also really interesting. You would think that in this matchup where
Cos'è?
Anthony got run over, right? That a card like Phyrexian Arena might not be what you want. But Anthony actually bringing Phyrexian Arena out of the sideboard for this matchup. Perhaps the games go a little longer after sideboard.
Ah, è un Phyrexian Arena, ok. Infatti dicevo, ma che è un Shieldred Edict? E vedete, mi aspettavo l'arena sidata contro aggro. Ci sta, cioè ci sta. Si aspetta che Soldier diventi molto più midrange e che valga la pena perdere vite per pescare più carte.
Now, if you're on Simon's side, you just want to put as much pressure as possible here so that that arena can't take over the game with all the extra cards that it provides.
Right, you want to turn it into your friend.
Right.
It's a little 1/1 unblockable on your side. Can you capitalize? Okay.
Oh.
1, 2, 3.
Yep. Anthony does have a Gix's Command, which is quite strong in this matchup. If it can resolve, it costs 5 mana. 1 mana off from playing that. Needs to find a relevant play this turn, though.
I don't know. We have one and they gave it to us and
They're joking around about which set that particular Phyrexian Arena comes from.
oh. Okay, that's a way better one. Way better looking one than most.
Arriva il cavaliere.
Okay, Dread Knight's gonna hit the battlefield now. But I keep looking at that wedding announcement. You know, the longer those things stick around.
Right. But if you cast the Gix's Command before you get to flip the wedding announcement, that would wipe Simon's side of the battlefield, right? Those two creatures in play. Then you can potentially put 2 counters on your Dread Knight, give it lifelink, help mitigate the life loss from the Phyrexian Arena. So
I like how you're thinking here, Paul. That's a good swing.
additionally, if Simon chooses to just convoke out the Knight Errant of Eos, you can go, hey, I want to kill all 2 power creatures, and also make you sacrifice the biggest thing that you have.
Bam.
Okay, never mind, just chooses to kind of play a slow game, but remember, Anthony, with that Gix's command, can wipe the board here.
Right.
Anche perché non sa di chi si comanda.
4 creatures down, and you make a 5/4 lifelinker for the turn.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry. That's really important.
Simon only attacked with his Zephyr Sentinel, so he does get a token from his wedding announcement.
It's like the coast is clear. It just feels like
11 to 22.
Anthony's
It's 23, but
want to go.
I don't think it will matter too much.
Sounds like you haven't played the Magic much.
Just digging on it.
I mean, it's all you that you're supposed to be aggro deck, right? I think you did the opposite.
I was like, what are you talking about?
They are very familiar with this matchup.
Ma se non pescavo che Master Removal qua.
Simon's questioning him, you know. He says, you don't know this.
He's just trying to throw him up. Ooh, he's got a Path of Peril in hand as well. There's a Nissa, which is a nice way to kill Wedding Announcement and the Takazia's Welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
there
this
it
is
is.
brutal.
Make this one big.
Pam.
Yeah.
It's 5 seconds.
That was nice.
That was very nice. And does Simon even have a great play this turn? He just could play a Knight Errant of Eos, but for no value?
Oh. Yeah, that feels like a tough way to come back
Ah,
to
yeah.
the game by trading off.
Dura.
Okay, so choosing not to, and really wants to get the value.
We'll see. Yeah.
Maybe you draw the Emperor.
Oh, that's a good sick draw.
He has it in his hand.
Some bold predictions here from Anthony Lee.
100%.
He's trying to get a read, maybe. Do you have the Wandering Emperor in your hand?
Well, now you'll know for sure. There's a duress.
First he predicted that he would draw it off of that trigger, and then he said, maybe you've already got it. Simon didn't really give him anything. We know. Anthony wants to know too. And that's a wish game. Yeah, that is one of those ones where you miss and you actually still feel relieved about it.
Yeah. I mean, that arena, you're just so far ahead on cards, right? And not to mention, you got a nice 4-for-1 or something on the previous turn.
Right.
So now the coast is clear.
So
what's the biggest threat?
Is Simon going to Odawara?
Non so, quando non esce qua Simon, mi sa che questa è dura per lui per vincerla, Dopo sfrattone.
On the Dread Knight.
E la prima arena che continua lì indisturbata.
Nope, he's going to take it. He's down to 12.
Now, does Anthony play the 3-2 or just keep up go for the throat here?
He's going to keep the aggression rolling. And Simon's going to make a Phyrexian Might token on end step.
So Simon has created his own card advantage engine here. Takazi's Welcome plus Mirex. This ability triggers once per turn, so you play a creature on your turn, and then end of turn make a token. So, even better, potentially. But does need to find a way to deal with that 5/4 trampling Mosswood Dread Knight here. Anthony has plenty of incredible options at his disposal. Go for the throat plus Nissa next turn.
He's rebuilding.
card at a time. Both players with card draw engines rolling.
Yeah.
Feels like the game's still recovering from Anthony having.
Madonna, non c'era nessun soldato, si è ripopolato tutto.
This is a big turn.
9 errant of Eos. And again, he's going to be able to pay 4.
Pam! Quante carte? Mo si becca una creatura.
There's a Zephyr Sentinel. That's going to be it.
Right. Just as Zephyr Sentinel. So Anthony can get Simon down pretty low here. Has a go for the throat for the Knight Errant. Can potentially attack in for 8. You have a Foundry as well. There's also Path of Peril. It's a little bit less exciting given that you also have two mana value creatures.
Sì, ti ammazzi pure le tue, però
The biggest creature on the battlefield, but perhaps there's just too much in play that he still needs to fire it off anyways. That Takazia's welcome, doing a lot of work for Simon Nielsen.
He seems to have kind of set up the combo here.
Yeah.
But Anthony's been reaping the rewards in that Phyrexian arena for multiple turns now, and it's got to feel tough for Nielsen to try to overcome that.
Anthony's going to just try to get aggressive here perhaps, go for the throat on the 5/5, excuse me.
Life totals have stayed very close. Again, thanks to the arena.
Now Simon doesn't have 5 soldiers to attack with, so Harbin will not trigger next turn.
5 soldati, di là c'è il 3-2, l'altro che è un 5-4. Arena, eventuali carte in mano. Removal.
Make Disappear will not be able to counter this, even for 4. So I think Simon just has to let this one go. Could play a Zephyr Sentinel to bounce it.
Is he going to do it anyway?
No.
Looks like hard and
right. Looks like he's valuing the Make Disappear here still. Okay. Because this is an attack for 11 for Simon on the crackback.
Qua è dura,
With the Zephyr Sentinel, it's an attack for 14.
Non può neanche attaccare. Continua ad accumulare carte con le vite e basta, indietro. A meno che...
If he attacks with both and tries to cast the Path of Peril, I guess Simon has to cast Make Disappear, and then he won't have lethal. Right. He'll be a little bit short.
Exactly.
Okay, this is...
Oh boy.
This is a close
one. That was 8, so he's down to 4.
He is down to 4, so now what does Anthony do? Do you clear the board? Do you just pass? You do have a creature land available. If you take damage to play the Nissa, you're dead. Right? Because you try to cast it, you're going to go down to 9.
Yeah.
It gets countered, and then you take 11.
Eh sì.
And you're dead on board if
right.
It gets countered.
Okay, Path of Peril.
Path of Peril, brucio tutto.
So can he make Disappear?
So if he wants to make Disappear, he also sacrifice a creature.
Right.
And if he does, he will only be able to attack for 9.
Ugh.
It's a little bit short.
But it's better than losing his board, right?
Well, potentially. I mean, perhaps these Dread Knights are just a giant problem, right? Maybe you just reset and just flash in the Sentinel.
And get a card.
Yeah, get a card, get it for 3, and worry about the Dread Knights later.
For him to have his problem solved for him? Let's find out. This is a really interesting inflection point here for Nielsen.
Okay.
He does want to protect what he's got.
Yep. Can he find 4 extra damage here somehow? Remember, he does have access to Otawara. That can bounce the 5-4.
Può bouncare il 5-4 con sufficiente Otawara, però poi l'altro può attivare l'avventura.
That's right.
If Anthony plays an untapped land, he can attack with both the Foundry and the Restless Cottage.
And you can do both potentially?
Right, because 2 mana plus the Foundry, then right now there's 3 mana with the Restless Cottage. You just play an untapped land. That's 2 additional attackers.
Simon Nielsen playing for top 8 here. He's up a game, and he's got a 9-2 record. 10 is the magic number.
Do you just play a creature here, draw a card, and reevaluate?
Anche per la 4 non è altissimo, quindi...
Because he can't close out the game this turn, at least with the board as it sits.
Ok.
There we go. Oh, excuse me.
Ah, il tizio quello con natura lascia.
Okay.
And remember earlier where I believe Simon missed a life gain trigger?
Yes, it was 1 life.
And it was like, it might not matter. It could matter.
It matter.
Oh, that's rough. He drew a second copy of Harbin. Remember, these Dread Knights trample.
Especially the big one.
Super trample.
Tough spot here for Nielsen. You can see he's deep in the tank. These are the positions that don't come up that often, right?
Yep.
Really close.
Because you want to set aside... Okay, so you have to think about, look, I want to at least maybe set aside the token for a potential Restless Cottage attack, right? Because that's just already a lethal
Vabbè,
attack.
quanto
by
dobbiamo
itself.
pensare in the tank qua?
But then you also, you know, you have Otawara. Let's say you bounce the 5-4.
Super deep in the tank per cercare la soluzione adatta per vincere.
Back to block the 3-2 and the 2-2. I suppose you can take the 3 and just block the 2. So look at this. Choosing the right number of creatures to attack with might just pass here, right?
Yeah.
Attack with both of these, hit you for 7, get you down to 6. Have 2 blockers. You can block the Restless Cottage. You can bounce the Dread Knight. You can block the other Dread Knight or the Foundry, and you go down to 1.
And he's going to pass the turn back. This is about as close as it gets.
There's a Serena too.
Yeah, I'm wondering, what about for Anthony's side, if he does the play that we saw yesterday with this Ascended Animus, just cast it for full and just immediately...
Oh, absolutely. If he just decides to just go for it. But it's rough because it's like, you can attack with your creature land, which you know for sure we'll be able to get in there.
Yeah.
You'll make a food, you can gain some life.
It's a very all-in play.
Or you can just slam this up and just go for it.
How many forests are over there for Anthony? Okay, never mind. There's none.
So he would just have double super trample. So yeah, that doesn't even accomplish anything here.
Yeah, double trample's double overrated.
Right.
Sì, la fatality di effettivamente serve molto. Fix Fix deve fare sulle foreste, potrebbero fare le lande.
Do you just go with the cottage? What happens then, right? If you go with the cottage, you know it's going to eat something. You'll have a food available to you, and that means you'll go up to 8 life. The arena will put you down to 7 next turn, and you have the Harbin, which flies. That's a guaranteed 4 points of damage. But then you have the recruitment officer. This is a tough turn here.
Extraordinarily close between these two. You can see Anthony Lee kind of lining up his creature land.
Is he just going to go double creature land attack?
Double creature land attack.
Shrug. He's like, well, I guess we'll just do it.
Go!
But we all, Simon's already mathed this out, I'm pretty sure.
It looks like
you go block the 2 creatures on the right, and you bounce the 5-4. You take 3, you go to 1, untap, attack for lethal.
Yes. And Anthony Lee looks like he found no other way forward other than doing this. And you see the Otawara come in there.
I think Simon's going to do it. 0-2 into 10-0 into the top 8 of the World Championship.
Incredible.
Vado, ce l'ha fatta.
Block, and that's
Ed entra in top.
through to the top 8 from an 0-2 start. He keeps
Abbiamo Simon che è il secondo in top.
he keeps Player of the Year dreams alive, and he's just secured his Sunday play, and this is awesome too.
Abbiamo il secondo in top.
How friendly these guys were.
Allora ragazzi, io sto morendo malissimo. Allora, vedo Marco se si scondette lui, ma non credo. Io provo a riposare un attimo, ma magari mi faccio solo vivo, muovo per la top 8, perché non vado a dormire subito. Però mi sdraio perché sto davvero morendo male. Sono sveglio dalle 4:30 del mattino. Quindi ragazzi, grazie per aver visto con noi questo pezzo dei Worlds. Ci vediamo come al solito o a breve, che comunque fanno l'annuncio della top 8, quindi siamo con voi, lo facciamo, la pubblichiamo e tutto quanto. E poi vabbè, ci vediamo nei classici video come sempre. Quindi per ora stacco e in caso ci sentiamo più tardi o ci vediamo appunto direttamente poi domani. Domani o prossimi altri giorni, insomma, come sempre. Quindi ciao ciao e fate i bravi.